call to order the Town of Swanton Selectboard meeting. It is Tuesday, November 18th, 2025, and it is 6:04 p.m. Please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll do an agenda review, starting with Christina.
So I would like to table the .gov emails for now. I have not got enough information yet to share that. And then add the organizational chart I sent out to you. You want to do that other too?
I think the organizational chart we'll look at under the proposed personnel policy changes, but it's related to that work chart. Kathy?
I'm good, thank you.
Nicole?
I'm all set.
Earl?
All set.
I'm all set.
I'm curious if there's been any update from Alliance Mechanical about the library.
Yes, we'll have an in-depth discussion.
We'll have a discussion about that. The other thing is, I haven't heard anything about the public health ordinance that you and
It's
Susan.
being worked on.
That's being worked on, okay.
So H is gonna be library update. I don't see
Yeah,
it on
it's
old
not
business.
on there, but it will be, H will be library.
Steve? Brian?
I've got something that probably, it could be old business that's been going on for a while. It's relative to the FEMA buyout. We're gonna be closing on the first property in that program, located at 366 North River Street. And the taxes are prorated, and but the proration amount that we owe the present owner back, and that's not covered under the grant.
We'll do it under old business.
Old business, okay, so we'll say FEMA.
FEMA buyout.
FEMA.
Anything else, Brian?
No, I believe that's it.
Okay. Starting with the minutes, we have 4 different sets of minutes. Regular select board meeting of November 4th, special select board meeting of November 5th, public hearing regarding local option tax of November 12th, and special select board meeting of November 12th. These are all 2025. Entertain a motion to approve.
Can I make a motion to approve all?
Yes.
I so move.
I'll second the motion.
Motion been made and seconded to approve all 4. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Public comments, this is for anything that is not part of the agenda. Okay. Law enforcement, animal control.
We'll have to table that as well, Mr. Chair. We did not receive a report, and I just checked before coming in here. I received it.
Okay, moving on to expenditures. Give me just
Oh,
a
we got highway department.
Yeah, that's true. Guess I shouldn't skip over that, should I? All right, thanks, Nick. Highway Department, give me just a second. Somewhere, I had my notes. There we go. Last few weeks for the crew, quite busy, especially last week, coming in Monday afternoon for the heavy snow that we received, and right up through Veterans Day, plowing first thing in the morning for commuters, and then plowing later in the day. So certainly have started moving some snow. The entrance at the garage, they worked on that. They've been hauling sand, they've been putting salt away, been doing some vehicle maintenance and some tree removal in the last 4 weeks. Paving, the last piece, I told you 2 weeks ago, or actually it was in October, that all the paving was done. The one piece that wasn't was the apron at the highway garage, and Whitcomb did complete that paving, so that is done now. Brian has submitted the grant reimbursement for McQuaman County roads for that grant that we received. Brooklyn Street culvert, we went from very dry and hoping to do it this fall. I'm not convinced we're gonna get in there now. It is pretty wet and pretty messy. We'll evaluate that more in the next couple of weeks. Berry Road culvert design, there was a couple borings they had to make up there, they made them in the last couple of weeks, so that's the last pieces needed for the design. Permits have been submitted, and there's a possibility of doing that construction in 2026, as we talked about, very expensive project, estimated somewhere in the $700,000 range. The new 3/4 ton truck, they fitted the old body to fit on the back of it. They made some brackets and so on, and today they painted it, so that will be in use here very shortly. They are gonna do a fluid film rust proofing on it before they start using it, but, getting close. And then I had a call today. Oliver Mannon called me, and Hazard Road, which is a class 4 road, which we don't do like winter maintenance on it. It's a dirt road, which I've heard there are some people who use that, I guess commuting. But he has asked whether or not we would support closing it for 2 days next week. It's part of the manure spread, and instead of all the trucking would be done, they would put the hose across the road for 2 days, so basically asking us if we could close it. In the winter, we don't plow it, so people don't use it. I said, I'm not gonna make that decision, and, thought I'd leave it up to the board. I don't have a problem with it, but I think it should be a board decision. As long as he works with Kevin and gets it marked and, so on, I don't have a problem, but I'll leave that up to the board. Long term, they're gonna bore underneath and install pipe on each, and so on each side they can connect to it with the hoses, but that's a project that involves federal money and the state agricultural engineers, and they haven't got that piece of it done yet, so they still have to either truck it or put this pipe across the road.
Would they provide notice to the people that live up there, that commute on that road, they use it to commute?
We could put a sign on the road probably Tuesday and say it'll be closed Thursday and Friday or something. We
Give them
could
a
certainly
heads
do
up.
that. Earl, any thoughts on that?
No, but, you know, that road is a class 4 road, I mean, it's supposed to be passable. That's all we're responsible for, 3 seasons a year, I believe. I don't know what the statutes say, but it's not year round.
Right.
I don't think we should incur any cost, but it will be better for the road if we keep the trucks off, and that's for sure.
That's part of it, absolutely.
So,
Cole?
I'm okay with it.
Long as adequate warning is provided, I don't see any reason not to.
Okay, can I get a motion, I guess, to approve that?
I'll make a motion to approve the road closure for those 2 days.
I guess second.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so moved. Anybody have any questions for highway?
do we have the, welcome Swanton sign yet?
We have the signs, next week, hoping to at least get the 4x4 posts in the grounds for 2 of them. They are up at the old state building, the old state garage. And weather dependent, we'll see if we can get the other 2 in.
Are they gonna fit in on the, our Maple Fields?
Yes, we gotta be real careful, there's a gas line there. We will have the gas company there, but we
can't use the existing posts.
no,
No.
the new signs are very specific on the width and we're gonna have new posts and, yeah. But Kevin said, hey, we'll just hand dig it and make it happen, and we gotta, like I said, we gotta have Vermont Gas on site, because they do have a gas line right there, but. And the first 2 I'd like to do is that one and the one, out on Route 7 by the St. Albans line.
Okay, just checking, cause I haven't heard anything about it.
Okay, moving on to expenditures. The orders are from October 22nd, 2025 to November 18th, 2025. So I don't think we need to repeat those dates. The first orders are for general. So I hear a motion to approve.
I'd make the motion to approve the general orders in the amount of $294,000, excuse me, $361.06.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Motion's made and seconded to approve the general orders for $294,361.06. Any discussion?
Kathy, you had to send a lot of money back, didn't you? Is that because the tax rate went down?
No,
How come they overpaid so much?
it's a number of things. One, it could be a state credit. Two, some people have their tax refund go toward their taxes. Three, some people are worried, a few people are going out of town and were worried the mortgage company wasn't gonna make their payment, so they paid their taxes, and then the mortgage company paid the taxes. So, yeah, it's a number of things.
Yeah, that's a host of them. So is that the state, the credit or that they get? So instead of taking it off the initial bill,
Well,
we,
what happened was it came off the bill. Some of it's going back to the mortgage company too, who made the mortgage payment, because we printed our bills the last of August. And the state of Vermont, because they allow the homestead documents to be filed until October 15th, we get downloads randomly, so they may have asked for the copies of the bills September 10th. We gotta download the following week. The next day, we get in the tax payment from the mortgage company, and there's a credit. So, that's what
okay.
can happen.
And I have one other question on that pilot for the village, is that,
Yeah, what happens is the state of Vermont, for some reason, will not separate the village's pilot.
that's what I
So
was, yeah.
they send it all to me, and then I have to split theirs out and send them a check.
Well, how much did the town invest in pilot payment? If the village got 9,000, we must have got a fair amount.
Yeah, I could tell you, we get like, I don't wanna quote, but it's, I can look and tell you, I don't wanna guess
Yeah,
that,
it's
I
not
wanna give you the right
critical, I
number,
just- Yeah, okay.
but it's a lot more than 9,000.
What?
It's a lot more than 9,000.
Wow, they got a lot of
Because
property.
we have a lot of, like, the state, federal properties that don't pay
Yeah.
tax, so we get, like, for the wildlife refuge and all their
Yeah,
property they own, and then all the state-owned properties, so we have a lot of state and federal properties that don't pay
and
taxes.
would the new highway garage be paid for this year in the pilot program?
I don't believe so, not yet.
Not yet.
I'm still waiting for information from the listeners.
Oh, the new one out
You're
there, I
waiting
thought you
for
were.
an appraisal, right?
Yeah, well, what they're gonna
Assessors.
do is get the
Insured
insured
value.
value, but they gotta start that
Is
process.
that retroactive though, once they come up with a number?
No.
I don't think so, but they, yeah, I can ask it.
Makes sense, yeah.
Any other discussion on the general orders? All in favor, state aye. Aye. Opposed? So moved. Now moving on to the highway orders for an amount of $457,608.50. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the highway orders at $457,608.50.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion been made and second. Is there any discussion?
You got two sand bills here, is that sand for, used for different purposes? One says salt and the other one just says, I mean for winter, but the other one just says sand. from
For
Leach-
which one?
Leach Family
That's
Incorporated.
all sand.
Is that for
It's
the
just-
roads?
Yes, it's the sand
It's
for
the
the
sand
road,
that
just two
mixes
different
with the salt.
locations they got it from.
Yeah, we got it. We got sand from two different places.
Yeah, Leeches and Wright's excavation.
Where's Wright's Pit?
Hey,
I think it's the
On the
old,
operating
on the
road.
frontage road, isn't it? That was when they bought that.
I
I'm not sure, it's close,
don't know,
it's
I'll
close
ask
by.
Kevin, but he checked in with them as far as price and, they were good, so.
That the Leach is up in Enosburg, though.
Right.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
long
that's a
haul.
good, that's a big haul, yeah.
Why didn't they just do it all local if the other one's in Swanton? Is there a difference in price that much?
I will get an answer for you on the two questions.
It was different in price historically.
Yeah. Cause fuel's not that cheap.
Bless you. Fuel and time,
Yeah.
it's all money.
Especially, yeah.
Any other, questions regarding the highway orders? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Library orders in the amount of $5,884.86. We're motion to approve.
I'll move.
There a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve. Any discussion? All pretty straightforward as far as what needs to
Much
be.
envision, yeah.
Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Moving on to highway and general payroll, excuse me.
I'll make a
Yeah, for a total of $35,700.72. Say a motion.
I'll make the motion to approve the highway and general payroll orders at $35,772.72.
There a second?
I'll second it.
Motion been made in second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Library payroll orders, amount of $10,259.34. There a motion to approve.
I'll move to approve the meeting.
Second? There a second?
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Special orders, the amount of $85,735.26. There a motion to approve.
I'll move.
There a second?
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. All those in favor, or is there any discussion?
Yeah, you got fence staining, that'll come, is that part of the grant too?
Yes, we're gonna
Okay.
do that under the grant.
And the sprinkler head's, quite expensive, but is that all completed now?
Yes.
And meets all the standards?
Yeah.
And the 17,000 for the trailhead, is that the final payment, or do we got any more to pay right?
Oh, we got more to pay them. They've gotta finish the project.
Banner still not finished?
Metal came in. Got a call last Friday that it was here. They were gonna get to it Monday or Tuesday. This morning I get a call, it's not the right stuff. Yeah, fit to be tied. Not much I can do right now. Waiting for another phone call on what they're gonna do and when they can get the order here again. That's where we're at with that. Any other questions on special orders? All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so moved. Okay, moving on to Old Town Business. Swanton Public Library Quarterly Financial Report. We tabled it to this meeting and then the library informed us they couldn't make it. And I told Brian, keep it on the agenda. And we have the report on page 5. Actually starts on page 6, 5 just the title sheet. We got the date, we received it, 10/28, 11/32. I believe you sent this out on an email, didn't you, Brian?
did,
When we
yeah.
received it, okay. So, there it is, folks, if we got some questions.
I just got a couple of questions. Looks like the income is about 17,000 behind plan, but that may be just a time of year. I think I had two questions, was how does through year end look? I mean, are we gonna be pretty much on plan? Guess,
We'll pass that one back to them and get
okay.
a response we can share with everybody.
And then the other one I had was the income source. It shows 59,800. I remember when we approved this budget last year, we had an estimated income, and now it's coming in at 59.8. Is that on track? Do we know? Anybody? Maybe that's a question we need to ask them.
Right, cause this just says year to date
Yeah.
as far as what we're looking at for a column there.
Well, they just received another appropriation from the town in our orders, so.
Okay, well, maybe they can, it's just nice to see as we approach year end, are we gonna be on line with what we had expected on both the income and expense side?
Yeah, the only difference would be what they projected for their own income.
They didn't propose that they were
No,
They didn't-
getting
they
any
didn't-
income.
They didn't put any revenue in last year in their budget.
They tell me this is the format that we gave them. So if, imagine if we have any suggestions for them, we just probably should send them something with a different format that they can add to.
Well, they don't ever budget for income, right?
They didn't budget last year
They
for
didn't budget
income.
for income last year, so.
But they've received more grants in 2025 than in 2024. I mean,
Because last year in their budget was nothing budgeted for revenue.
Which is, this gets into what it should show is 2025 budget. And if income was zero, then they should have the column and everything say zero. And here's what they received year to date, showing a positive. And that's, it gets into, well, see what they did it on expenditures, budgeted amount,
Yep,
and year to date.
did a good job on that part.
And this, the way it says, it's effective 30 September, the end of the, so it gives you an idea there of where they are as far as their expenditures. But as far as income, you know, they should use the same idea of what, 2025, and if it's just zero, that's easy, but at least you got the column there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What was the, town allotment? Because right now, that, I mean, that actually would be something under 2025, looking at this, I can't tell, what is the town allotment for the year, for 2025?
What was voter approved?
We approved, library.
Town shall appropriate
It's in our budget.
$80,260. No, yeah, $80,260 towards operating.
$80,260 what they get for the year.
How much, Kathy?
$80,260.
So if you're looking at that 59, they're probably gonna be okay with what they budgeted for taxpayer money. The only thing that, the additional funds,
Right, cause if the town allotment's 80 and we've only given them 33, then they're getting 47 more.
Because they've got, that's through the end of September, so they've gotten in October, November, and now December, so that's another 18 and some odd thousand that they've gotten since then. And their last check will be September, October, November. In December, it's 20,000 they'll get.
But what I'm looking at, what they're reporting to us, they've only received 33 of that 80,000.
Right, this was at the end of September, they've received,
18,000 here, right?
That's not exactly right.
That's where the confusion lies, because at the end of September, we should have been giving them very close to 3/4 of
Right, that's right.
what, 3/4 of that 80,000, so about 60,000, this just says 33.
So,
When I look at this, 80,000, they received 33, they're short 47 just from us, you add that to that 59, and they've got more than enough money to cover what their proposed budget was.
If you
But you're-
if you don't include that, they're short.
Right,
Well, that's, once again, here we go.
so, that's a few items we can
Yeah.
pass back to them.
Yeah.
Under the income, and then the question of how they're looking toward
Yeah,
the.
we on
the-
track, or
Right,
will there be any savings?
So at the end of September, I'd given them $46,818.31.
how much?
so you're giving them about 47,
Yeah. Through the end of
so
September.
that means they got about another 33 that they would be getting from us.
33,441.69.
Yeah, so what's interesting, what they're showing year to date
Yeah.
as receiving is actually the amount they should be getting. Yeah, a little bit confusing, can be fixed pretty easily. With some information, I think you could work with Brian a little bit, and you could take it back to them,
yeah, I definitely will.
and if they need to come in and work with us just a little bit, and
Well, yeah, she definitely should be here.
Yeah, maybe the next time that they submit this, whether if it's for clarification or whatever, if nobody's here, we won't act on it.
Okay, yeah,
We gotta draw a line here.
I'll make sure it's important for them to know
Yeah,
that.
not your fault, don't get me wrong, but I mean, that would-
I'll communicate them the best, that to them the best I can, yeah.
that's good.
Any other questions regarding this? All right, we're gonna move on to Swanton Rec. Good evening, thanks for coming.
Yeah, of course.
Welcome to come up to the table.
I guess
Slide a couple
I'll
other
come.
chairs nearby if you want.
So I just, Katie, Ron and John are here from our board.
And I'm just gonna start off, as I'm the one who's been pushing this a little bit. And the reason being is we've got approximately, and I've got the sheet here. $570,000, and there was initial $600,000 when the ARPA money came down to the town, and 600,000 was committed to the community center recreation. That ARPA money, we received it originally, I think, in the 2022 timeframe. Due to some issues with the large project that the village was doing and stuff, it didn't get on the ballot. But we are sitting on $570,000. And what we're trying to get is a plan of what the rec is looking to do regarding facilities and anything else. So, with that opening,
So, we did put together, a redevelopment action plan. We did prioritize it. Each, priority has a goal, some action, site review, outcome, concept, and then some cost. We couldn't get all of the costs together. Obviously, our top priority is our community building. If you look at this, this is on the back page of some of your sheets. So where your little Post-it is, or actually it's not a Post-it,
Well, some of them are.
some of them are. This is a different phasing project than where we originally talked about a couple of years ago. But this area is back in our garden area. And this could be also, developed as a phasing project. So phase one being a gymnasium, and then making sure that we have the infrastructure in place that we can phase out through the project. And one of the, starting phases is, obviously, we have to check and see about the wetland. So, we had it evaluated in 2022? But they have to come back and relook at it to see if there is some room for expansion, in areas to tap into any of these projects. So that's kind of where our brakes are on right now, because we have to wait for them to come in the spring and, kind of re-look at that land to see what part is wetland, unless anybody has other information that we're not aware of. But that's what we have, based on the study from 2022.
didn't they give you a map?
Well, so this is from the wetland delineation, that they did in 2022. This is one of the concepts that Cross did, but they didn't give us just a map of the delineation itself, other than you can see it here. So one of the reasons why we talked about the phasing of this project is the larger community center project that we had originally proposed, which was abutting Field 3, blocked the Blake Street entrance, which was recognized as being something that would be very important to have as a secondary entrance into the facility. So we as a team looked at all of the concepts that we were presented with, and we felt that we could do a phase one with a steel building. They come in some really nice looking steel buildings that could be affordable within the bounds of this project, which would allow for additional growth to happen later on down the line. The gymnasium is such an important piece to to holding recreational programming, and we can continue to add on to our existing building, but it doesn't meet the needs of what our community needs. It was, I got a call from Senator Sanders' office earlier this month looking for a place to hold a public town hall, and he thought we had a rec center. And when I had to tell him that I didn't think our space suited the needs of what he was looking to do, but he was welcome to come anyways, you know, got my brains churning. So I've reached out to several different companies to research steel structures and what they'd cost. And this, I'll pass this one down, I only have one copy of this. It's kind of a concept of what 120 by 80 would cost. And they roughly estimated that they could build that steel structure. Of course, we would have to get a contractor, but the structure itself would be under $200,000 for the structure. Of course, you would need concrete, which is not included in that price, and you'd need mechanical on the inside and other, I'm not a builder, so I'm not sure. but
That's just the.
other things, but that certainly would be a step to getting us that enclosed space for community programming that we're lacking. I did bring another company, I grabbed this on my way out, another company sent just a lookbook for anybody that wanted to look at additional designs.
So we buy the material, but then we'd have to hire a contractor to
To
put it
assemble.
up. So concrete, wiring, plumbing, so the 200 would kind of be like the entry fee,
Right.
and probably about double that for the fit-up.
A lot more than double.
Would we?
There's no way you're gonna get water, sewer down there, proper foundation for a building 125 by 80. This isn't just putting a little concrete slab down, this has gotta be enough to support, when you've got a clear span of 80 feet and you've got a snow load of 40 to 50 pounds per square foot, you've gotta have a significant structure to hold that.
Sure.
The concrete foundation alone is gonna be some big bucks. That's 10,000 square feet. I do not believe you're gonna build that for under $200 a square foot by the time because you're gonna wanna heat it, right?
Yep.
That building.
Right, that's just the bare bones building,
Yeah,
that's
you're not
nothing
talking
in it.
insulation.
No, well, I know, but if we're talking,
You're not talking
we're
no
talking-
insulation?
Not in what, that
Okay.
200,000,
Okay,
yeah,
all
no.
right, that's what I was thinking.
That's
too.
just to
Yeah.
Just for the steel bones, but again,
Yeah.
we're just developing ideas to bring to the table here to talk about.
I'd like to go back to the wetland delineation. Now, Cross delineated that, did the state approve it?
Yes.
Yes. So the state approved what
The
their,
state came out, the wetland ecologist came out and walked it with Cross's
okay,
person, and that,
all right, so you're all set, you got a pretty good idea of what's usable and what's not.
I believe so, yes.
it's something you could actually go back to Cross and they could come out and put little markers so that you would know. I think that's what you're saying, you don't have, right? You don't
Right.
have,
There are some, but they're not,
right, for, a reasonable price, they would come out. And just like they did for the Lamoille Valley Rail Trail, is they will put some little markers and say wetland boundary, so you've got a good idea of where
That's
that is.
exactly what we need.
And then you can drive some wood stakes in the ground and you've got a good idea of where that is. But unless something's changed, they've got all that information and they can do it pretty easy with GPS now and lay that out for you. But
So
I wanna go back and get some reality to the cost and I would be very surprised if you could get into that for less than $200 a square foot. And you're talking something in $2 million range. You get, cause again, you get the whole heating system, you're gonna want water and sewer there, I would think.
Right,
And, yeah, it's 200,000, but to put that thing up, that's a significant structure with cranes and so on to,
but it's less than the ask we had before.
right, but before you had a whole
Right.
admin space and everything else.
Right,
but additional things on that list is, as our demand in the community grows, having a vehicle to use for recreational business is something that, could be a great use of funds. I don't know if anybody's seen me pull up in my Mini Cooper with all of the things at community events, but it's quite hilarious. Our playground structure definitely could be modernized, made to be ADA accessible. And then, you know, as we continue to grow in programming, we're running out of field space. So we redeveloped the community garden this past year, leaving a very large, maybe he's gone again. Leaving a very large space that could be developed as field space, as well as continue to make the upgrades to our equipment shed, which is the blue building in our lower parking lot, to make that into the maintenance, designated maintenance spot. That would require electrical upgrades, insulation, winterizing that building, because right now it's just a storage shed. And then last but not least is making additional upgrades to the lower soccer field.
Well, I gotta bring up a question, what's the planned access to this new facility? You still gonna use Jewett Street, or are you gonna plan on something off Bridge Street?
We're hoping to use both.
So we had Dean Ryan come in just to talk about getting water down to the back lot, in regards to, up to the community garden area and other things, and he had mentioned that was previously used as an entrance into the facility. He didn't understand why it couldn't be reopened and used as an entrance into that back parking lot. So that was before my time, so I'm not sure why, or if anybody has any additional information.
I don't think I was on the board then. Maybe Eugene might know. I'm not sure. I think it might have had something to do with the new Blake Street housing.
Well, we did get a commitment from Lake Champlain Housing that they would allow us to use that right away.
Right, we do. It is in a right of way for us.
Yeah.
That was never taken away.
Yeah.
So we could easily use it.
So we don't have to go to Lake Champlain Housing, what you're saying?
No,
It
they
should
already
be in
came
there.
here a long time ago, way back when it first got proposed.
Yeah, Dean didn't think that there was an issue with the right of way either.
Okay,
In fact, it should be here already.
It should be
Didn't
on
that
record
Monty
somewhere.
guy send a letter to the town stating that?
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's here somewhere.
So this is a kind of a grand scheme of things, as I understand this. So we've got 6 projects. Are you gonna come back with a kind of an estimate of what it would cost to complete these along with a timeline, like some would be in 2027, 2028, 29?
Some of them we can, yes. I think the vehicle, we definitely could, the playground, and then, the equipment shed electrical, I do think we have a couple quotes currently, cause that was kinda like, we were gonna try and do that, like, immediately. Whether it was funding from this ARPA or funding from our lower soccer field, I don't know, where's Nick in with that one? Not, cause we still have to wait for that.
Waiting for the wetlands on that one.
Yeah.
Right, because that is a different scope to the project because it's just green space, you know, the ask was, can we go into that buffer for the green space a little bit more? I had some email communications back with their wetland ecologist at the state to see what that would look like, and she hasn't gotten back to me yet. I was out of the office sick last week, so I'm still catching up on things.
yeah, and that's another thing Cross could answer for you. I don't believe you're gonna be able to do anything in the buffer, but that's the whole reason it's the buffer, but that would be a question, if you contacted them to lay out the boundaries for you, they would have that answer.
Okay.
'Cause we ran into that again on the LVRT, Nick.
When it comes to the, I'm gonna jump back to the gymnasium. You said about 200,000 to start. To start with the building itself. How much do we have in special funds?
570,000.
570.
570,000.
Nick, I'm gonna jump in.
Yeah.
200,000 buys you a bunch of metal and nothing else.
Nothing else. Okay.
So
I was
we
trying to get my
we gotta get the reality of 200,000 is not gonna get us anything but a pile of metal
metal.
without a way to get any use out of it.
Okay, that's what I
I,
wanted to
I would love to see a building there, but if we're gonna talk about it in the price, 200,000 doesn't get it started other than ordering the metal.
Yeah,
No installation of the metal, no foundation to put the metal on, no heat for the building.
what would be your ballpark estimate on, just ballpark?
I'm telling you, I think you're gonna be well over 1 million, probably closer to 2 for a good usable facility.
And that, you got the infrastructure that you need to install there, you're gonna need probably to do some, road work if you're gonna use Blake Street. You're gonna have to probably change some of the parking down there, depending on how you put the building, it'd be nice if they got paved. So, you know, I can see 1.5 million to 2 million by the time you get done.
I mean, our plan was to build the infrastructure first, like the building with, like, we had that number. It's not like it's set in stone, but obviously we have to think about the infrastructure building around the building first. So that's the water, electrical, and then obviously the area, the road. And then can this building how much is it gonna cost for the concrete, for this, to sustain this size of a building? So obviously there's infrastructure that has to be done prior to a building, which would have had to be done with any size building. Any building that we come to the table with gonna have to have infrastructure set in place in order to build it anyway. So this is no different.
Okay, so your plan, if I understand this, this is your Santa Claus list here. And your plan for number one would be to kind of look at it and say, let's move forward and get some real hard numbers all in. And then you've got 5 other things on here that you'd like to do. So I guess my question is, do we act on 2 through 6? Is that what we should be looking at? And then continue to work on number 1?
So, this is not a Santa Claus list, this is a community need.
Oh, all right, fine. Okay, makes you feel better.
Well, I don't know if that's, I think what's important here probably is that we all agree and that we're gonna support forward with this plan. Now, that doesn't mean the funding's gonna be there, it just means we can make plan towards that direction. We have funding available right now to at least get the people we need, the professionals, to get a good concrete price of what this is gonna cost. And in the meantime, Nicole could start looking at other potential funding sources, as long as we're committed to it. But if we're not committed to it, it's hard for them to start looking for other funding sources.
Right, we can't look for funding unless we have a, yes, we're moving forward.
You know, and I will reach back out to Cross, but you know, if we at the table feel that this is, or that end of the table, feel that this is, you know, could be the direction we move in, leave behind the original concept that we were starting to work with. Yes, a 120/80 building in that area is what we're going to move forward with, then we can start making an actual plan we're gonna do the infrastructure on the Blake Street entrance and whatever that cost is, or put water in down there, or electricity down into that area. And then I can start really finalizing some of the things that need to go along with it.
When it comes to the gymnasium, would waiting on the public option tax, getting an answer on that, you think that would be probably advisable? Because
By
that'd
the
be-
time we get to that
Yeah,
phase,
by the time-
probably, I mean, hopefully it'll be in place at that time, but we have some infrastructure to build up before we even get to a building.
'cause we're gonna-
Yeah, I would not wait until that March vote. That's another 4 or 5 months, and if we're really seriously considering doing it, it's time to start committing to it.
You know,
If we're not serious about it, then we move on and look at some of these other options, but yeah, in another 4 months. Regardless of the local option tax, that certainly would give us a source of some revenue to possibly pay off a loan toward that, if that's the way we chose to go for some of the local option tax. But if this is what we're committing to, then we get the prices and they seek other funding sources to make it happen, and that would just be one possibility.
Yeah,
That's
that's
for number
important.
one.
What's that?
That's for number one.
Right.
I think they should be going forward with getting the price of this facility, and then, as Nicole says, you know, the other things they can be doing is get start getting some of that infrastructure down there, the roadway, the water and the sewer. You want electricity for your building down here, right?
Well, there is electricity at a pole, it's over
Yeah.
here, and we're gonna connect it here,
Right.
but, you know, if we're gonna
Right.
get it connected here, you know, making sure that it's set up to be able to go that
Go,
way
that's
too,
right.
as well.
That those things could go ahead and get at least the planning on that. We know we have enough funding to cover that.
But are you suggesting that we authorize some expenditures to bring these services there
Yeah.
before we know if we're gonna go forward with this building?
Well, I can tell you, Steve, at some point in time, it's gonna happen. And that's really the only place it can happen unless we wanna buy land somewhere else, and that's gonna raise the cost of the whole project up even more. And we have our ball fields there. It's been historically the area used for that, and I don't see any benefit of trying to find another area. And I don't see it being cheaper if we do. So either we're gonna commit to going forward with this, and I think we need this in this community, I really do. You know, Swanton's gonna be the type of community I envision it to be. We need something like this.
I heard
And the
some,
demand is there.
I heard some suggestions about potentially using the Fourth Street property for a new gym, but the things I've heard, at least from the rec board, is that they would have the ability to expand if they used that property.
Yeah, no
There would be no growth.
No, and there wouldn't be no parking would be an issue, certainly, if you were putting up a building this size on that lot, where are you gonna park the cars?
Well, I would say, and, cause we have some drawings of using the 4th Street.
Right,
Yeah.
which we,
A lot of the use of this would be after hours, after school, so some of it would be school parking.
Yep.
But if,
Oh, I guess it should've got off the pot time.
And then we have to do something, no question.
Yeah.
But have we discussed in any level the opportunity we might have to get the armory over on, is it Ferris Street or Little Street?
Fair.
Ferris. That might be coming on board at some point.
I had a conversation with Colonel Roy a couple days ago in anticipation of tonight. And I would be surprised if it would be anything less than 8 years before that would be available.
And would take some rehab to make it fit the needs of what we need.
So it would be about at least 8 years, and given what's going on in the federal government and so on in Vermont, currently what's going on with Vermont, whether the feds would put some money toward that. So it could be a while. And then the thing that we've got to realize is we're gonna pay fair market value for that building.
Yeah.
That's why, because it wasn't
Yeah.
something that there was an agreement, the way it was constructed and everything, he's adamant that the only way that goes forward, and they just did it with 2 other locations. You have to go before their board and get an appraisal, and it's fair market value, so the cost of going there is gonna be fair market value plus anything we need to do to get it up to snuff to operate out of there. I don't know if there's a lot of,
It's quite easy to see 2 million into that.
more than that, by the time you buy the
And
building.
you've got no sidewalks on that street. The only reasonable use of that, you'd have to have an access off Grand Avenue. There's gonna be some costs involved with that, unless you wanna send kids down the street with no sidewalks. You know, we already got Ewart Street like that, do you wanna have 2 of them? Doesn't make any sense to me, and it's far away from the fields too. So, the cost, like I say, you're gonna spend as much, if not more.
So it sounds like the number one is the top priority, and we need to move forward with some numbers and infrastructure plan, which these funds will support.
Well,
Right,
that's the motion the board would have to make.
yeah, and what I would suggest too is, you could probably go to Connor Construction and spend 2 hours with them and come back with a plan and estimate to do what you wanna do down there. Those folks do a lot of design build. This is something right up their alley that they have a, estimating department. I think if you went to them and, you know, they'll charge you a little bit of money. You could come back to us with some numbers that would help us. They could take a look at the site. As far as Blake Street, I would say that could even be a highway project of our own. Doesn't need,
Possibly.
have to save some
Possibly,
money.
Yeah.
Cause it's not very complicated making that, but, that's a suggestion I would make. Whether that's number one priority or not, I don't know, the board's gotta decide, and I think we can do that in just a minute. But getting back to this expenditure of money, if this is where it's gonna stay, you're talking about the rec vehicle, or recreation vehicle. And I'm gonna say up front, we're talking still 4 years, I bet, before you would get this building constructed. Something needs to be done in that existing building now, is what I'm gonna say to the rest of the board members here. We have 80 to 100 kids at summer camps, and there is not enough room to house them all. The equipment room there should be cleared out and should be made a community space so that you can fit more people in there. And if we need to build a separate storage shed down below or get another building temporarily, we should do it because there is not enough space there. And we just keep having these summer camps and kids outside, and granted, they're kids and having a lot of fun. They're running around in the rain for hours, totally soaked.
Kids like it.
Yeah, but that building, we should spend a couple $100,000 bringing that building up to code.
Get creative.
Well, I think Joel's
I wouldn't go that far.
we
You
got-
wouldn't?
No.
Why not?
Because this is where we're gonna go in the future. We're gonna have to tough it out. I agree, maybe another container, or maybe, you know, or 2 containers, cause you can always move them off and sell them afterwards. That's not a big deal, to store some of your equipment in.
The one container's already pretty full.
Okay, we can get another one.
Build
That's
a
fine,
good,
but
build a good.
$200,000 in that building right there, there's a pink elephant when it gets done.
You're gonna be in that building for 8 years or more, because if you're gonna do this as phase 1, 4 or 5 years, then you gotta come up with the money to build all the office space and everything.
No way, Joel, this will get done sooner than that if we get moving on it.
They don't have any office space planned in that. That is simply a court.
Maybe they should do a little bit of that
Well,
to start with.
that's the,
At least get some basic office space in there.
the court only takes up half the building?
The court is only,
Basketball court's on 125.
no, it's not.
What's that?
Basketball court's on 125 feet.
We got
Okay,
50
the elementary school one was 90.
Yeah, we're not, we got room on the end to put in offices and.
I'd much rather
Office
put
and
200,000 extra into this building instead of that one. It makes more sense.
I don't disagree. So, like you made a suggestion to go to, Connors, right?
Yeah.
And have them give us an estimate, and then we can just bring that back to you. Do we still have to go to Cross?
What, an estimate
They
of
can do the
what?
buffers, right? Does Cross still have to do they can do the buffers for the wetland, but do they have to do anything for the building?
No.
What about the
If we-
water and sewer, and would Cross be involved that, or would Connor get them
Connor
prices
could
too?
probably estimate that, or they could tell you whether or not they have
So
to
we
keep
could
it
go to
lighted.
Connor with our plan, and they're gonna put us together an estimate, and then we can just bring it back to you.
Yeah, I'm not supporting any plan tonight when we don't know now whether we're gonna put office space in there or not. Cause that, Connor can't, if, they're not gonna just they would estimate a empty building for you, but that's not gonna be what we're intending to do, according to, if you want the full boat,
Yep.
then we need to have the full boat. And I mean, I just opened this up to other board members, but if we go to Connor, the original thing proposed tonight was a steel building 80 by 125.
Well,
Well, if you're putting
you can go
two-
to Connors and tell them that you're gonna have some office, you want some office space in there, and they'll give us a proposal.
So basketball court's 50 by 90, which gives us a little bit of room to put some building in, offices in there. Or we can expand the building out another 20 feet and go 80 by 145.
That's what you need to know before you go to Connors. Yeah, and you can't, what's that?
We can do that.
I know, but you just can't say there's a little extra space and put a few offices. You need to decide how much storage space do you want in there? How many offices do you want?
Well, we're looking for support from the board before we go ahead and do all this stuff.
And what I'm,
So if we get prices and we come back and go, oh, $2 million is too much,
what I'm
then we're
saying,
wasting more money.
I've spent many, many years in this business. You're not ready to go to Connors yet.
You just told us to go there.
I did, based on what you guys proposed was an 80 by 120 steel building.
So,
That's a, now if you're talking putting offices in, that's a lot of extra money for the walls, for the air conditioning, for anything else you might need. That's a different animal than just putting the, because of what you said is you were gonna phase it. So that's the information I took, is you're gonna put a steel building up so you got some courts, and then you're gonna phase it, which means later on, looking to do the offices and stuff. And now we're kind of come into, maybe we go for the whole thing, and I can support that, but that's what needs to be known
Well, it-
before you go to Connor.
Right, but the whole thing isn't, if we just add like one office space, that's not gonna take up a ton of space. And we can still phase it out.
Originally though, weren't we talking about what it was gonna cost us to put some roads in and the utilities and the infrastructure?
Great.
That should be part of the whole thing
That's what I
with
mean,
Connor.
yeah.
So then you've got a line item for all of it, and then you say either we go for the whole thing, or here's what we do originally.
And then we do the infrastructure first, if that's the outcome, and then we are ready to go we're prepped for a building.
I'd see no reason to do infrastructure if we don't do the building with it.
Okay.
We'd have the line item so we can discuss it, but if we just put water sewer down there and fix Blake Street, what have we got? Water and sewer for no use down
Oh,
there.
I agree,
Yeah.
but we started out kind of
Right.
talking about infrastructure, now we're talking about the whole ball of wax, which is fine.
Well,
But let's get a target in place here.
so I think part of the thing is that we would shoot for the moon if we knew we were allowed to shoot for the moon. Right now, we're trying to put it in reasonable phases and steps, and we don't want to propose to spend a bunch of money to build infrastructure, like the electrical, like the water, like the roads, with our funding for someone on this board, or multiple people on this board to go, you know what, I think that was a great idea, but we're not gonna support a full-blown building. And I think what Earl was saying was like, we need, the community, Swanton desperately needs this facility, a real, live, big ball of wax facility. We don't need just a basketball court, we need office space, we need a kitchenette, we need storage, we need a basketball court, we need it all, desperately. What we need is for somebody to champion this. I think Earl was trying to step up there and say that he would a little bit, to champion this and say, I support Swanton having a facility like that, and I support Swanton Rec going forward and taking the steps to build that building. And this is the first step that you can take, whatever that is. We have these other projects that are on here, these are other needs that we have, we need to accomplish these no matter what. But this facility that we need to build has to start to come first, and it's been pushed to the side so many times that I think we're just a little disheartened that it's not coming forward. And I'm really excited that Earl and Joel are like, let's just talk about it, because we need it, and it's going to take 8 years, you're not wrong. But we have to start building this facility, and we have to start doing those steps. And if we can just say, we're gonna do this, and then Band-Aid the current office a little bit, maybe it's some containers, maybe it's making sure we're getting our heat pump. We have to start taking these steps, or else we're just gonna get stuck here continuously in a loop like we have been.
But I would ultimately be interested in seeing both proposals, one just a gym that we add on to, and then the other a gym with the office space in it. I don't know how, we have office space already. I don't know I don't know if that's the most dire, it doesn't seem like, to me at least, it was the
Nick?
most, yeah.
You sit on a couch off the side of the table in our meeting.
Okay.
You know that is insufficient.
It
And
is.
if you have Bernie
Yeah.
Sanders calling and asking if you have a space sufficient to come into, and we're like, we have a one-car garage with some shelves in it, I don't think that's adequate.
Well, yeah, but the gym would be the main space, that would be the main thing.
Sure would.
The office space, an office is an office, like,
Right, but
yeah.
then that doesn't mean that in 8 years when, or 10 years or 12 years, when this whole building is actually really built all the way, that the building that we're currently in isn't the storage room and the snack shack. Like, that's what it can graduate to, or retire to.
Yeah, and I would jump in as you actually, if we commit to this, we could get it sooner than 8. I was talking the Army with the whole federal fund and what they're dealing through, and then by the time they move, getting
Absolutely.
this other building, that's, but
But this is gonna take time, this isn't a new thing.
No. But I'm willing to make a motion that the board, support the effort to, find out the cost of this building, and I'm sure that has been mentioned here that there'll be room for 1 or 2 offices in there, even if you go with your original size, because the basketball court's only so big. The kids during the summer will have a place to go, and in the meantime, if you need another storage container, I mean, you should be able to get that out of your budget anyways, and those can always be sold afterwards and moved off-site, that ain't a big deal. But I'll make a motion that we support the rec's effort, and we need to get a cost on this building going forward, and I think it's, and the board is gonna support this. You know, and see it to the end, and now, in the end, I just want to caution everybody, the voters will probably have the final say, okay?
Yeah.
But at least we're planning in the same direction, and Nicole can try to find money, which will help make it more palatable for everybody, but there's a lot of people that see a real need for this, and, you know, with the amount of use that the rec is getting now, I see, you know, there'd probably be a reasonable amount of support for it, and if we can get enough of our own money, this can go forward.
And I'll second the motion, I support some sort of expense of the rec center and building, yeah, and getting that up and going.
motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion?
I'm in favor of this too, but what are we saying we support going forward, getting some estimates?
Yes,
We're not committing to any building at this point.
well, we're gonna commit to doing something, and it's gonna be a building.
Well, not without a set of numbers, but.
All right, well, my motion says we're committed to the planning to design this as a phase 1.
Okay,
Okay, if you wanna vote against it, Steve, you can.
I know.
Okay, that's my motion.
Under discussion, I would like to throw out is, for years, I passionately tried to get something going. There are some drawings that you should take a look at of what Cross did. And look at between the gym area and a few of the offices, that's what you would take to Connor and say, this is what we're looking at. Can you give us a ballpark? And also water and sewer down to that site. And it may not be everything that's on those drawings, but not just say there's gonna be room for 1 office. That's not how Connor's gonna operate. They're gonna look at dimensions and give you an estimate. And I would be glad to sit down with somebody if they wanted, but,
I will take
I
all
ju- I
guidance
ju- I
and
just
direction
suggest that-
necessary.
How big are we allowed to dream here? Because this is, I would love to be able to say that this was phase 1, I didn't wanna say scrap metal building, this metal building, is, you know, a proposal because we're trying to get something in place. You know, Pearl's not wrong, thunder and lightning in the middle of the summer when you have 100 kids is not a great scenario when everybody's hiding in dugouts to get undercover. They need to have a space to be in, and they need to have a full-blown space, they need to have a kitchen, they need to have all these other things. Do you want us to come back with something that's bigger than this?
No.
That's more of what we want, or you
Phase
want phase
1,
1?
phase 1,
Okay.
you know, and that's gonna get it started, and
Okay.
then
What
we'll
is-
phase
what-
in the rest, because, you know, we just don't have enough money
Okay.
to do everything, that's, you know, the whole
Get a gym,
issue.
and then we can add offices on the end, please.
That's
Do
right.
you want
so,
us to adjust this?
just a second.
Sorry, Bill.
So phase 1 is just the gym?
That was what I was gonna ask you. Do you want us to expand it?
This is discussion, he's got a proposal out, but it's
I think-
not clear what the proposal's for, other than supportive of building, but what the building is not clear at this moment.
So for that concept, when we drew it out with this 3D modeling, it was the gymnasium, bathrooms, and like a vestibule for an entrance for them to come in before they get into the gymnasium.
Okay? Any storage area in there for stuff?
Small.
Is it wide enough to store the stuff along the walls?
It would
'Cause
be,
gym-
it would, there's enough
I think you could be
safety
60
zone
feet wide,
for
but,
bleachers and for spectators. We would still utilize all of the storage that we have currently.
so gym with bathrooms, phase one, little foyer area. Is that,
As far as you want, at least one kind of office space there to keep, you know, but I'm sure I can fit in with what you're proposing, because the gym isn't gonna be the full length of the building.
Well, right, that's what I'm trying to figure out, is do we need to make it a little bigger so that we can encompass a little bit of what we're doing in the current Swanton Rec building with the administrative offices in there, and make that bigger to try to accommodate a couple of office spaces, so that you've got a couple of offices, the vestibule, the bathrooms, the gym, and that's really phase one.
go, my suggestion, sit down with Connor, couple bathrooms, an office, the foyer,
Yeah.
and the gym of this size, and they'll sketch it out pretty quick.
Yeah.
And I think they'll be able to help you. And if they can't, we'll find another one that could, but
And I would consider that phase one.
Okay.
Okay, so your motion is to, I'm sorry, go ahead. No, your motion is to move forward on the pricing on a conceptual design, which has changed a little bit since we originally sat here. But we can't commit to a building yet, because we don't know what the cost is gonna be. I support the building, but I'm afraid if we honor your motion, then we just committed to building a building, and we don't know.
Well, we don't have the money to build it, Steve, but we committed to the idea of doing it, so then we've got to find the money. How, where it comes from, that'll be the next phase. But in the meantime, if they know the board is supporting what they're proposing, then, like I say, Nicole can start looking for various funds, you know, grants and stuff, start working on that. Because, you know, we could, maybe we get another $500,000, so maybe we might need to use $500,000. But if we get the local option tax, approved, you know, I'm sure the voters could approve using that funding to make the payments on the other $500,000 we might need.
part of it anyway, part
Yeah.
of the funding, because we, anyway, but
So there's, you know, we'll get to those options then, but are you committed to having a building for the rec? That's what this is all, really all about when it gets all said and
I
done.
think we all are.
Okay,
Yeah,
then,
we all are.
all right.
But I just wanna make sure that we're very clear, we're committed to pricing the concept at the, with the full understanding that we would support a building going forward.
Well, I suspect if the price comes back $5 or $6 million, we're all gonna back off. But if it comes in the range that we understand it's gonna be in, it's something that we can work with.
and then we've gotta go to the voters anyway to get the
Right.
money, so we're not, the board isn't gonna come up with a
That's
3
what I mean,
million.
we're not committing for the voters.
We're-
We can't-
we're committed-
We can't commit nothing for the voters.
We're committed to supporting getting the building. First
Yep.
part of it is getting a new estimate,
Yep.
2025 of what we talked about tonight, and then we look at funding sources after that, because it's gonna take voters to approve
Yeah.
however we get this funded, one way or another, so.
How much money do you think it would take to get, the information and whatever designs are necessary for Connors to give us some estimate of the beginning of this process? Because if you're gonna need some money, we should authorize the rec committee to spend some of that 600,000 in.
For the
covering-
Connor concept?
Or
that
for
you're
whatever, we
requesting?
should have a budget, we just can't. We should have a
Connor
budget.
contracting? Connor contract. No, but they want us to go to Connors and get them an estimated cost of the building, and you're saying you us to use the ARPA funds.
Well,
for
that's,
that.
I'm just saying.
I would suggest we authorize up to 10,000 of that 560
Okay, well, that's fine, yeah.
for rec. When, in your discussion with Connor, they may say, yeah, we're gonna sit down with you, but it's gonna cost you 2,000-3,000. I don't know what that number is yet.
Right.
Well, it could be 15,000, but you'd have to come back to us. you know, at that point in time, to
But
get
what-
the approval.
I'm suggesting
We're
10
only doing
because
this two motion. Earl's got a motion on the floor.
Yep.
I think it makes this thing move forward. We could approve that. Let's take another motion and authorize that you can use X number of dollars of these funds in this process.
Yeah.
And that covers you. Now, you might find somebody else besides Connors too. There are other very good companies out there, but they do good work, there's no question. So let's act on Earl's motion, and then we'll have another motion authorizing some expenditures.
So basically, I just wanna recap that this motion is select board support for a recreational facility, approximately 125 by 80, approximately. And the rec going forward, getting an estimate. Is that,
Yeah. But you're saying the pricing for this, not,
Right,
we're not
an
approving,
estimate.
we're not approving the building.
and?
We're approving the
Getting
pricing.
an estimate.
Just
But
an
we're
estimate.
approving the,
We're
moving
supporting
forward
it,
with the
we are
building.
supporting it, is
Right.
what I
We're
said in my.
supporting this phase one as proposed by the rec commission.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Right.
Opposed? So moved. I'll entertain a motion to authorize, I'm gonna suggest up to 10,000 of the money that the rec we have committed for the rec, to pay for estimating services with whichever entity you choose to go to. I just know that in the design build world, that's one that, I would suggest you look at.
I'll make the motion that we'll, approve up to 10,000 to, get a design cost.
I'll second the motion.
Yeah, okay, motion is made and seconded, and then, just for discussion, I'll clarify, what we're trying to get is a conceptual estimate. Because after that, then we would say we'd need to get design money involved, actual design money.
Yeah, and we may come back and find out that financially it just can't be done, so we'll look at another route or option. Now, of this 10,000, does anybody need would the expenditures come from the rec committee and then Brian would, or Kathy would sign the checks? Is that how that would work?
It would come from,
Won't you bill me, they'll bill us
They'll
directly?
bill you.
Yeah,
and
Like we have in the past, yeah, I'll
Yeah,
just.
so we'll go through the committee to Kathy, then she's paid. Because somebody has to authorize somebody has to come up with the amount.
they're
Direct.
gonna bill
Well,
Kathy. If
they'll-
it's over 10,000, then we have to come back to the table.
right, the rec committee will be the one overseeing, talking with
And
a
then they'll
consultant
bill
firm, and then the
direct to us.
consultant firm would bill the town, yeah,
Who triggers the release of the 10,000? That's my question.
the rec committee.
That's,
Well-
okay, all right.
Well, actually, the board has already
We already-
approved up to, so if the bill comes in for 8,000, Kathy can just go ahead and put it on the order.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, but you folks would be the ones talking with somebody and saying,
Yeah.
it is okay, because when they say it's gonna be 7,500,
Yep.
the rec's gonna say, go forward.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you're asking, and that's the
Exactly.
clarification you want.
Yes,
Yeah.
and then you authorize the expenditure, because you have that authority, and you give the invoice to Kathy, and Kathy pays it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing that needs to be in that motion, that those monies will come out of the special funds that are already approved for the rec. They won't come from anywhere else.
For both of them.
Yep,
Well, just for the,
just right now for the 10,000.
for the second motion.
Yeah, we ain't worried
Yeah,
about
There's
that.
no money
Conceptual
involved in the
estimate,
first one,
yeah.
the first one is just support.
Yeah, just support.
Any other discussion? All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so moved. All right,
What are you gonna do with the other things on here, the vehicle, the equipment and stuff like that? Is that a whole other discussion beyond the building?
With our board, yeah. Cause if there's no money, I mean, if we're gonna allocate most of the money for this, option one, then we'll have to revisit the other ones,
You
With our board.
prioritize, and
prioritize them, yeah.
yeah, I'd like to see you folks come back with some dollar figures,
me too,
because
yeah.
if we're gonna be lots of years down the road, I see the need possibly for a
Absolutely.
vehicle now.
Yeah.
And if we had a price, we could talk about it and say, okay,
yeah.
let's do it and move on.
Absolutely.
And
I'd
that's
like to
something
see
you
the
probably
numbers.
could do in your budget process. you must be starting to think about next year's budget, right?
Yes.
So maybe that might be something you might wanna try to work in there.
Well, let's
I-
keep this
I-
separate though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would take it right possibly out of here and not increase their budget, and because
Well-
we've got so much money we're gonna have to come up with, that taking out some of these short-term needs,
Yeah, and this is on the list.
I think we're gonna have to budget some of these things, we can't keep taking out of special funds because they're coming to an end. And then, you know, the amount of money we got left in there, that 500,000, you know, for what we're gonna end up needing, even though it's way less than the 4 million that was brought before us before, it's still a lot more than that 500,000, so.
I understand, I am at full support of, and other board members may be, if they want a vehicle, we fund the vehicle out of that 570,000, so they can operate
Yes.
in the way
I'd
that
like
they
to
should
s-
operate.
I'd like to see what they can do in their budget and how much it'll affect it before I make a
Okay,
final
that's you. I'm suggesting that the rec, and I think other board members suggesting you come back to us with a few prices here. If you want a vehicle, come back to us with the price for a vehicle.
So, I guess my question is, before we even get quotes, can we own a vehicle? Or if the town will own it?
Town
The
will.
town
Town
will
will,
own it.
yeah.
Town, we gotta have.
So we
insurance.
can't purchase it, the town would have to purchase
You'd
it.
have to comply with the purchasing policy.
Right.
And which we
Right.
would oversee, yeah.
This, that new policy.
Yeah,
We just bought a pickup truck, so we put out an RFP, dealers will put in a bid, they'll come here, we'll open them, you're welcome to the opening, it's done in front of the board, go with,
So we have to put out the
We-
RFP.
we'll help you along the
We'll
way.
help
We
you.
just need to know a cost so we can
Yeah.
decide whether we support it.
And-
So we still have to go get 3 quotes and then we do the.
No.
Okay, so how's this
Go,
work?
go talk with a couple, go talk to Brett's, our
Yeah, I
local
already have
dealer.
a quote from John,
Yeah,
What kind of
we,
vehicle you looking at?
60,000.
Well, wouldn't it be best if you
at a
coordinated this
regular
with Brian? He knows the
F-150.
mechanics of how it should be done. He's
Oh.
familiar with the policy, he
Something
can
that
work
can
with you
tell
to
the
show you.
yeah, we just
Yeah.
basically send it out to the dealers, and then,
But we just need to give you a number we want.
approximate number and what type of vehicle so we can do a
yeah, we
request.
need to know what.
Is it a four-wheel drive pickup? Is it a van? Is it a,
Yeah,
We want a
Jeep.
15 passenger van with a ballast and a trailer,
Okay, and
please.
to continue that, we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. These are all needs that have been identified by the rec committee. So why don't we get an estimate of what it would cost for these, and maybe you could prioritize these,
So,
and then we could say, well, the funding can come maybe from the ARPA money, or it could come through a request
Yeah.
to the voters. But let's not do a piecemeal if you need them all. That's my.
yeah, no, come back with all the,
Exactly, yeah.
so I think one of the questions that we had too are any of these something that you don't think is a priority? Are there any of these that you're like, don't do that, we don't want you to do that, we don't think you should do that? Because these are in priority order for us, we can come back, I know Vince is gonna say this, we can come back with bids for them, for as many of them as we can. But before we go forth with those, are there any of these that you're like, yeah, don't do that one?
I don't have any problem with this priority list. I have a problem that we're not doing anything with the existing building. Clearing out the equipment area, the maintenance area, so that that is a presentable area for people to be in. And if that involves putting something down the hill, I have no problem working with this board to maybe build a nice garage down there and consolidate some of that stuff.
So,
But, and if the rec doesn't wanna do it, that's fine, but I'm gonna keep harping it here, cause when I go over there and I see what kids are dealing with in that maintenance area, it is wrong.
so we've made some adjustments to it already, and we're moving all of that, maintenance stuff down to that shed. That's why we wanna put electrical down there and winterize it so we can keep our tractors in that secured location.
And all
They
those
fit.
shelves are still in there?
A lot of them are empty. A lot of them, we're just cleaning things out as we go.
Okay.
And so we'll be able to redesign that area.
Can we back up just for a sec? I think the question was asked, which ones do we think you should have? If this is your recommendation, then I think we ought to look at it, okay? I'm not familiar whether or not you need to upgrade the electrical system in the shed. So I think the recommendation was, come back with some prices, and are the numbers, are the numerical sequence the priority?
Yes.
Okay, so come back with the numbers, that from 2 through 6, and we'll take a look at those. That's a whole separate issue. And then we'll try to determine where the money will come from, whether it's from ARPA or we ask the taxpayers.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's done. Then, if you look at then Joel's got some very valid points. We need to look at that building, I call it the blue building, because of some space issues. So now that's that'd be the third thing we're talking about tonight. And you're absolutely right.
And it could go right in this priority list when they come back to us.
Absolutely.
And put a sign on it for me.
It's coming.
It's
I
coming.
thought it is?
It is, yes. Yes. We got
It's
it.
coming. And,
Alright.
and we only moved Meals on Wheels back because everyone else complained.
And as far as the additional storage facility, the big steel trailer, is that something you should do anyway?
Might help you out with cleaning that garage, yeah. Give you an edit.
How much are those containers?
Like $5,000.
Probably
I think we
about
paid last
$6,000
time.
right now because of the tariffs.
Yeah.
It was 4 or something when you bought the other
But if you
one,
lease
right?
it for,
But it wouldn't be over 6.
what if you leased it and then you?
You don't lease them, I don't believe.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, a lot of them, yeah, they can get a price on it, if that's what you
Yeah.
wanna come back and let us know.
Won't we make that number 7 then? That makes sense?
Well, put it in whatever priority,
Oh, yeah,
I think that should go up a
yeah,
little
yeah.
higher in priority, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
like
care,
you s-
it can be number 12, I don't care.
Yeah.
But put it on the list.
And,
Alright, anything else? Good discussion.
Yep.
People are passionate, when they're passionate, that's a good thing, if we can sit there at the end and say, we made some progress. Anything else, Betsy? Thank you.
Thank you. Don't get too far away. The next
Yeah,
one.
yeah, don't leave, you ain't done yet.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Next item, the Moyle Valley Rail Trail. Proposed maintenance, it says agreement, we don't have an agreement tonight, but we wanna talk about, take on the discussion of who's gonna oversee and maintain that facility. So, I talked to the board members last meeting about it briefly. And I believe it should be a rec department that oversees it, drives by, checks it out now and then,
We don't have a vehicle.
just a second. Does the lawn mowing, trimming, highway would do the snow removal. At the town office here, when the camera gets installed, we'll get the access to the camera, so the camera could be here, actually, you could have access to the camera right from your computer as well. Budget, electric's gonna be approximately $500 a year, water's approximately $720. Did ask him to shut it off today. The $90 difference on the bill is because it's considered commercial,
That's
not
what I was wondering,
residential.
yeah.
I called and found that out. The portalette, we should call and have that removed at the end of the month piece. I don't know when we started it wasn't too long ago. And then we can start it again in the spring, but that's gonna be roughly $1,400 per year. Maintenance, I don't know, I threw out $1,500 maybe last, so you're talking about $4,500 or so needs to be in somebody's budget. Whether it's general or rec, but again, I think it should go into the rec department, $4,500 annually. And that, if I open up for discussion.
Of the duties that you want the rec department to perform, is there a list?
It's
Or will you prepare a
mainly,
list?
it's mainly monitoring that area.
And
you know.
mowing
So
and-
Joel, was all this discussed before the trailhead went in, before just throwing it at us?
No,
So there was no plan in place on the actual, like, who was gonna maintain it?
no.
So why the rec? Why not the town?
It could
No,
be,
they have
it could be
They
the town.
have
I
the tools to do it.
It
We
could-
don't really
it-
have the
it-
tools or the people to like add extra, like mowing and, I mean, how are we gonna get there for one? We don't even have the tools to.
You got the rail, you
even-
got the trail right there.
We can't drive a vehicle on the
Yeah,
trail.
you're not supposed to.
We can work, it's the town's trail.
I know,
The fit and healthy path to,
but doesn't the town currently maintain the fit and healthy trail?
what's up, Earl?
Nothing, I see their point of trying to drive that lawnmower down there, probably not a real good way of doing it.
We drive a lawnmower other places or.
Well, all right, then if you wanna drive
I'm
it
just
down there, go
asking the
ahead.
question,
Okay.
can we talk about it?
Yeah, go ahead, I'm not talking about it, but, you know, I think in some ways it does fall as a recreational area, but not with traditionally how the way things have been done in Swan. But if you start thinking about parks and recreation in the future, you know, as the community grows, then you're
Right.
probably gonna, you know, so, in some ways.
I disagree with that, no.
Yeah.
We're not, but we're not there yet.
No, we're not quite there yet, no, you're
So-
right.
So are we hearing that the rec department isn't interested in being the overseer of the
We don't
trailhead?
really have the capacity to do it.
Okay, I
do
mean, I'm
what?
just asking, you know.
To mow?
Weed whack, snow removal.
I
And now what
said
about-
snow removal would be part of the highway.
Okay, not us.
All I'm
Now,
talking
what about,
about,
like,
so
the
mowing, you're talking
maintenance?
every week and a half, and a couple hours there, it's not much grass.
Well, who does the rail trail?
The rail trail,
The fit and healthy pad?
there's not much mowing, there's not grass on there.
Well, don't they mow it? And they mow along like,
Along the, yeah, along
They
the
mow
road,
Robin Hood
Drive,
with a
yeah.
bigger mower, they do Robin Hood.
well, I'm just saying, wouldn't it make more sense for them just to take care of it?
They don't have a smaller mower, and it's not a rec facility, and it's a highway department, general funds, rec is covered by everybody in Swanton. Technically, highway shouldn't spend a lot of time on that site.
So I guess, just to move this off, I understand where you're coming from, and I agree. But if the rec feels that they should not be involved in maintaining this, then fine. Then we
It's
will
not
have
we
to
don't
see.
wanna maintain it, it's the extra $5,000 a year into our budget for, that everybody can look at.
But what if you're paid to do it? I guess that's my question.
We're not,
I don't think.
the board is not asking you to absorb the 5,000.
No.
You would come to us for the 2026 budget process
And add
with an
one.
extra $5,000 on it, we would understand why.
So we're gonna have to.
We've had this facility, the rec department has it posted all over their pages about the trail. It's a recreational thing. So,
I'm not
this
disagreeing.
pushback and jump back is, to me, a little frustrating, especially the board members. We brought this up a couple weeks ago, so we would think about it. This shouldn't be any surprise to anybody.
Are there part-time employees that wouldn't mind a little bit more work? I know you have seasonal employees. Yeah, but
We have one.
one, and a seasonal employee, like, add a few, like, you wouldn't mind making a couple $100 more dollars? I don't know.
Well, I guess,
We can't, he can only work a certain amount of hours and he can only work a certain amount of weeks.
so I guess as somebody who deals with the day-to-day operations, would the select board support, adding more capacity to having maybe another additional person to do additional asks, especially if we're gonna consider moving towards a park and recreation in the future? There's more than enough work for people, I can make more than enough work for people, trust me. Would the select board support having, that additional capacity built into our salaries as well if we were to take on the day-to-day operations of the rec, or of the LVRT trailhead?
No one
So-
should have to be there day to day.
Well, I mean, I
So
guess,
it should not be a significant increase in the labor and the maintenance.
Mr. Chair,
Somebody's gonna have to check it and pick the trash out of there.
Yeah,
Leave
they're
them.
gonna have
There's volunteers that do
they
that.
do have ambassadors that do that.
Yeah. It's been there for several months right now, and there's not trash
So all we
being thrown
gotta
on
do-
there.
Go over there once a week and mow it and weed whack it.
Yeah, and
And if there's some other minor thing that needs to be done, find out when it could be done. We have volunteers that'll do certain things. I'll come help do certain things. If it takes someone, hiring somebody, we can help find that, if it's something small. It's picnic tables, it's a pavilion, it's a little bit of grass, It's a little bit of asphalt. It's not something where we've got heating and ventilation, that's gonna take a lot of time.
Like, we're not against doing it, it's just, it wasn't planned when the trailhead went in, and our guys are working 60, 70 hours a week as it is. So that
If
extra
you
couple
can't
hours a week-
support it, just tell us.
Yeah, just say no.
We put this on the agenda for a discussion item. Did anyone think that that was just gonna be maintenance free?
We didn't think it was gonna get pushed towards rec, because there was no discussion ahead of time.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah.
I think that we're being told that they're not interested, rec is not prepared to provide those services right now. So perhaps we should list in writing what we want done, and we'll just shoot it out and see if somebody from the public will step forward and do it for us. It could be Mr. Kelly or Mr. Menard, or some private citizen that may wanna have a little extra money in his pocket, and then the rec doesn't have to worry about it, and we can still get it done. I mean, it makes sense what you're saying, and it should go to the rec, but then it didn't sound like they're
Okay.
warming up to
Well,
it.
I think that, sorry, didn't mean to interject.
Well, go ahead, yeah.
I think that we were just more taken aback, and we didn't realize when it got brought up in the last meeting, it was not anything that we knew about, and we were even here. We were like, whoa, okay, that's new information, so we took that back to our board, and we were like, whoa, okay, that's a lot. We don't want the public to think that we asked to have $5,000 to maintain something that maybe doesn't cost $5,000 to maintain. We don't want the public to look at us and say, oh, why are they doing that? We understand that's part of rec, we want it to be part of rec, we're not opposed to taking care of it, but is that going to lead to the rec taking care of other things that are part of the rec, like Marble Mill and these other places, and making it like one rec? Is this like the phase one of that?
No, it's not at
Okay,
all.
this is just taking
Marble
on-
Mill is run by the village.
Okay, so this is just taking on the trailhead over there because we're part of rec, it's a recreational activity, it ties together in a way. And the board's not opposed to us coming to them every year and saying, hey, we're gonna need $5,000 to go mow the lawn over here. And because the trailer that we hopefully gets by has flat, because we're gonna have to drive lawnmower over there because we can't take down the trail, that kind of thing. That's what we're trying to figure out.
I would make just, I think we should go down there and take a look at exactly what you gotta do. I know it's getting there, it could be a little tricky the way you are right now. If you have to drive down a trail, I guess you can drive down a trail, but, once you get your van and stuff over the trailer, then you've got something to bring your lawnmower down.
I'm sure no one's gonna say, let's call the town or the state police or the police and be like, the rec's driving their lawnmower down there.
But,
They're not gonna say anything.
because, you know, I don't know if we're looking at a couple hours, maybe,
No.
once a week. Well, and weed whacking, if you wanna do a nice job, and it may be, you know, hopefully the ambassadors will keep things picked up in between, it may not be a lot more, it may be less than what you're thinking right now. And, you know, I can see your point that it probably did get dumped onto you, not planning on this, but it is part of recreation, you know, it's gonna end up in the rec someday.
Do we have a list of duties that we would expect to be performed up there?
It's basically mowing the lawn.
Okay, but so-
And if the.
Sure, we could devise one.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we could develop one.
But think of what it is.
I know
But
that.
we don't need to make a 20-page or 20-item list. Think of what that site is. And I'm kind of frustrated here. You want support on a multi-million-dollar building. We just made this a line item to discuss, and all of a sudden it's, well, was this thought about it before? Yeah. It's thought of in the sense we built something, we're gonna have to maintain it. That's just common.
Right.
And it's very frustrating, some of this pushback right here. If you don't wanna do it, say you don't wanna do it.
It's-
I'll mow the thing next year and I'll trim it
It's not
for a
pushback.
couple hours a
It's
week.
not, Joel, it's not pushback. It's literally, we didn't realize that you were gonna ask us for that, and it felt, I think the board may have felt that it was like, oh, the rec's just gonna take it, and it was gonna get dumped on us, and we didn't want that.
Then why didn't somebody call to talk about it?
I didn't even know about it.
No, we put it on the agenda, so if you had
Well, and I
pushback at your
reached out
rec
to
board level,
Brian.
call us.
And I reached out to Brian and asked him, and he said nothing, there's nothing to share.
Well, there was no documents to share.
There was nothing to
It's a
share. I had-
discussion.
It's a discussion, we're having a discussion, it's okay.
Well, we're having a discussion now.
So yes, we will maintain it.
And you will have a line item in your budget for that purpose. I think
I'll
you
go
gotta,
mow the damn lawn, I don't think we need to put a line item in it.
The line item wasn't for more. What I suggest is
I'll-
take it back to your
maybe for-
board and have the
Maybe for
discussion.
fuel, that's it.
Take it back to your board and have a discussion and come back to us with some questions.
Yeah, and I think, that, to be fair to whoever does the job, we ought to have a list of, these are the expectations that we're looking for in that area. So that we can't come back and say, well, why didn't you do that? Well, we didn't tell you. So it's not fair to do that. Let's put a list together what we expect. Maybe very simple, as Joel says, and then you know what you're shooting at.
Right, because I don't know if we necessarily know what the roles of the ambassadors are either.
I do.
So that's the other part too, is like,
You do,
if
right.
the ambassadors have a role and we have a role, where does that line get drawn? That's all. Thank you.
But I don't foresee it a huge issue.
Pardon me? Pardon me?
I said we don't foresee it as a huge issue. Our executive committee's here, so it's not.
Yeah, and there was no intent, I was just trying to help get an estimate of the cost. It wasn't like we were gonna jam it on you to take it out of your budget. It's during the budget process, we would add it as reasonable people and say, one of the reasons rec budget went up by a certain amount is because we have a new rail trail that people supposedly wanted, and there's a certain cost of having a new
We were
facility.
just caught off guard, and when we tried to obtain information, we were told there was none.
Well, I
So
apologize, because everybody
we
was
did
handed this.
And
At
I
the
didn't
last meeting.
receive it, I wasn't
Okay,
at this
all right,
meeting.
I'm good, I'm good.
So, again, I tried to reach out and I was not given any information.
Then
So,
if you
that's
didn't
on
get-
Brian.
If you didn't get it from Brian, call me, because I'm the one that said put it
Well,
on
he
your
said there
budget.
wasn't anything.
I got one question before, the electrical and water, that's gonna be billed directly to the town, right?
It is,
Okay,
yes.
so that doesn't, they don't have to worry about that in their budget.
Right, it already comes to
Yeah.
Kathy.
Yeah, okay.
Well, it's gotta be budgeted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's gotta be budgeted.
It's gotta be
for it,
budgeted, the bill comes to Kathy,
But not in their budget.
it would be in their budget.
You wanna put the water and sewer in their budget too,
That's-
or whatever.
Yeah, that's
All
part of
that
the
cost.
5,000.
So we got
Okay, so
water,
you'll have to
sewer,
give them numbers then.
Portalet, I have the numbers.
You have them?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, and the portal.
Yeah.
So that's why it's 5,000, because it includes all of those expenses.
And a little bit of money for
We
possible
don't have
maintenance.
to, we can just build that into our budget. We don't have to have a separate line item that says LVRT. Or do you
Probably
choose-
should, though.
or
Probably should,
we?
yeah, I think you should.
You could just
I
do
think
one
you
line
should.
of LRV expense item.
Yeah.
Expense line, and just put the $5,000 in there, and then anything you spend on there will come out of there.
And it'll give us
And
an
you'll be able to
idea.
track how much it is.
We have to look at this from year to year, so the more detail you put in
Yeah.
there. Brian, do you have any, you mentioned that your name was mentioned, any comment?
No, I don't have any comment. I thought this was just gonna be an open discussion, which it
Yeah.
has been.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Thank you very much, folks. For Spoy Valley School District land swap.
Okay. I spoke to Brian Rao, who spoke to his attorney, and his attorney is supposed to get in touch with our attorney. I called our attorney and they hadn't heard a word. That mortgage discharge, well, our attorney's office said that that company that's gonna discharge that mortgage is the worst company to get a discharge from. So they're aware of it, and they'll reach out to Mr. Bugby's office and we'll see what he goes.
No, you're gonna have to keep after him, Brian.
Wait, a second. That's their responsibility.
I know it is.
They've got the mortgage deed on it. They have to discharge it. I told Mr. Rowell, if he ever put that property up for sale, which it has been for sale, that's gonna come back. They will not be able to sell that ever until that discharge is done.
That's right.
So I put it back on them.
Keep sending emails, make sure. Cause I don't want them to forget about it.
Well, we've been fooling around with this now for what, year and a half?
Year and a half.
At what point do we just call it off?
Well, what do you wanna do with the land? What do you wanna do with the land?
I don't know.
It's just-
I think
What
we
we
have far-
proposing is about the only use of that land.
Okay.
So,
All right.
you know, we just gotta keep going and hopefully get it done, you know?
Cause it's landlocked, we have
No,
nothing we can do with. The one who's gonna lose out is gonna be the school if this
So
falls
we'll
through.
play with
yeah,
this for
the
another
school
year
would be
then.
good, and
And we're
then,
gonna lose it loud on the land around the town garage.
so if the
that we're
schools
using.
lose, the taxpayers lose.
Alright. Next line item is the former town garage work plan and estimate.
So you all received a copy of this work plan and estimate. And then once they do up the work plan, then they gotta send it to the state, to get the work plan approved, and then they have to get back to us with what.
So the projected cost is 31,000?
Yeah.
That is just for the drum and the pipe.
Oh, that ain't making the site usable, right?
That's the first step.
That's
The
the
next,
first step.
the next step over the winter is we're gonna have to get an estimate from Atlas to prepare a plan to give to the state on how we want to make the rest of the area usable. And that's gonna be probably an 18-inch cover of sand, and then we put topsoil on top of it. But that has to go to the state. That has to be prepared by Atlas, given to the state gives us the go-ahead, and then we're gonna have to figure out how we're gonna pay for that. In our special funds, if I'm reading this right, Kathy, and I remember a while ago, we said we knew there were gonna be some additional cost on Fourth Street. Right now, we have a balance of 35,000. And we don't, and we've paid all our bills so far, right?
I think Brian, you just sent me one bill, no, yeah, we're up to date on them, Atlas. Yeah, no, that was because I was looking at the bills
So
earlier.
we have 35,000, which would get this taken care of. And then we've got the issue of this plan development, which we need to get Alice to give us a proposal for that. And then the actual work there.
Well, we'll be way short of money,
Correct.
way short.
Which there are some other balances in here, but until we know what those are,
Yeah.
we can't even act on that.
If we spend 31 of the 35,
Yes.
and then we find out that we need additional money, where would that money come from? Can we authorize that kind of an expenditure and pick it up next year in the budget?
We have a balance in our special funds of uncommitted money of
Okay,
157,000.
all right, okay, so what's that? All right,
It ain't gonna happen this year anyways.
no, okay.
Well, we should get a work plan from Atlas so that they are developing and getting a document ready that needs to go to the state for the actual work that's gonna be done, other than this little piece.
Okay, are you proposing that we go forward with what, the proposal that we're looking at tonight, that work for 31,000?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to get this
And
done.
they can will they be able to do that right off?
They thought within 2 weeks they could
Right.
start if they got the approval.
Okay, well, then I'll move that we, appropriate the 31,000 for the proposal to, start the cleanup of Fourth Street
And
property.
also authorize me to sign so I can get this.
And authorize the town administrator to sign the contract. Good night, guys.
Night.
Thank you.
Right.
And it's out
Motion.
of already allocated special funds?
Yeah.
Out of
Yeah.
special funds already allocated to
Already
Fourth Street.
allocated, yep.
What's the amount?
31, I don't
Yeah,
know.
let's get the,
31,205.80.
let's get that into that.
You got it?
Yeah.
31,205.90.
Okay.
So,
Motion's been made, do we hear a second?
Second,
Motion's been made and seconded, any further discussion?
so 32,000.
Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so moved.
Oh, here's the order.
oh, thank you.
Report on tablet request, do we have the info or not? Cause I know there was phone calls and.
You go in the, past this, 26 pages of, from Atlas, it's the next one.
Yeah,
Page
there it is.
27 number.
Yeah.
You got- So,
Page 27, wait, I got a picture of a computer in her left there.
So it's a tablet with a
detachable keyboard.
So it's the same one that we talked about last time, just the price has gone up because it's been longer. So I talked to Peter, and right now you currently pay $10 a month per email for every person who has a town email. If you went with these new devices, the email, if you went with the $11.99, so the next page, $11.99 a month for the first year, then it would be $20 a month, starting year 2. You would have Word, Excel, you would have all of the program you needed to use them.
$20 per month per computer.
Right now, you're paying $10 per month.
Good old Excel and
Yeah.
Microsoft.
And then the only other thing would be $30 a year per device for the virus protection,
30 per year.
per year.
Per
So
device.
50
So right now,
per device per year for just maintenance
Maintenance.
fees.
yeah, right now you pay $10 for all of our emails each
Per month.
per month.
But if we're using this device, aren't we already paying for those emails? Whether they're on this device or
Yeah.
their
So
house?
technically,
It'd be 60.
well, right now you're already paying $10, so you would only add a couple of dollars for the first year.
But then 2 years from now,
In
it's
2
going,
years.
even if we stay with no, if we don't buy these computers.
No, they, well, unless the price increases.
Yeah, but I mean, if we stay with our present system, is it gonna be $20 for our emails?
Well, no, it'd be 10, what we pay.
It'll stay for 10. It's only because we're going to these here.
So it would go to 12 for a
You're right.
year, so $2 more, and
Tw-
then
Why
Per year or
would,
per month? This says per
per
month.
month. Per month.
But, okay, someone on the DRB already has an email address,
They all have emails, but they don't use them.
but we're already paying, right? So why do we pay more if they have a laptop?
Because you're paying for these other programmings to have it on it.
We're paying the Microsoft, okay, it's the Microsoft fee, it's not the email fee.
Right.
Okay, so 12,
Microsoft Outlook.
So instead of
$12 a
$10
month.
Instead of $10 a month, it would be 12 for the first year, and then it would go to 20.
and then you need those services
Well, you
in
kind of
order to
be able to
open
open
stuff,
and do-
all the
You
files.
have
and shit.
PowerPoint, Word, Excel, Teams, yeah.
So how much, I'll go into the figures here, what's the bottom line?
So the bottom line would be the price of the device, plus
Did you?
the $30 for the internet, or the virus protection. And then the slight increase in the Microsoft 365 for 26 would only be what, $5, well, $2 a tablet, $2 an email, and then next year you would budget it at 20.
So what if we decided to self-insure, we don't wanna have $30?
That's the Viper, that's,
You can,
that's the
that's the
virus
Viper, that's our
protection.
virus.
Yeah, it's virus
We have that on
protection.
all of our computers.
And our insurance company requires that we
Yeah.
have that.
We have to have the coverage.
It's part of the,
Okay,
so 5 computers,
At 5.
well, the initial cost is gonna be $2,600
yeah.
for 5 computers, so that's the one-time
okay,
cost.
that's gone.
So that's, right, so you were at, and then, so now you got 30 per year,
For the
plus $20, let's say it's gonna be 20, right, eventually, 20 times
27
12,
would
so
be 20.
240. So it's 270
Each.
times 5. So, you're talking $1,300, $1,400 annually to maintain those.
For all of them.
For the software, yes, that's
Yeah.
times 5.
Does that 519 include sales tax?
Yeah, it would be tax-free.
What was the
tax
original
rate.
No tax free?
Original cost would be 2,600 for 5.
For 1 year.
No,
No,
only,
that's just
oh,
to
to
buy
buy the computers, $2,600. And
What they are
then,
is a tablet with a detachable keyboard and a pencil.
about $1,400, $1,500.
Normally, it's 10 to 15% of the acquisition cost would be the servicing that we're talking about. This is running 1,400 on a $2,600 purchase.
Right,
I don't see specs on
and that's
this
per,
at
yeah,
all.
that's per year.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's just for the, what, 5 for the DRB or whatever.
Not much we can do about it, but.
No.
Worst case, we try it.
Is
I
this
mean,
right?
Yeah,
from
yeah, I
Lenovo?
agree, yeah.
Yeah,
Now, do we sign any contracts, once we buy these, Do we have to sign any other contracts, so after a year, if we say this isn't working, we can back out, you know?
On the,
You own them.
you own them.
You own,
I realize that, but as far as any other maintenance agreements, we can back out of those at any time.
you just don't pay it, and they cancel
You
it,
just change your, yeah.
and then you wouldn't be able to use.
Oh, I realize that.
Have we found out if we buy in bulk, if we would say we were to buy 10 of them versus 5, if they would give us a better
I
deal?
can find out, because I mean, 2 weeks ago it was $4.79. Could they go on sale more? This was just the price today.
Closer to Christmas, they might.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking,
Yeah.
Black Friday, they're saying
Well-
Black Friday doorbuster, but they always get better.
But
The
that,
price.
so this is one with a 12-inch screen. If you've got an 11-inch screen, it's the $4.49
I
still.
would
So
love
it's, I mean,
Earl.
Oh,
Does the DRB's asking for these?
Forgot one?
I think it's a good test for us
Yeah.
to put these in place. It's a small amount of money
Just give them, whoops.
for the larger scheme of
We
things.
have to draft
Thank you
some
very
kind of
much.
thing for them to sign to date them.
Yep, and it's a good trial thing for us, and you may expand it into other committees, and we would provide them with a iPad or whatever as we go forward. This would be a good learning.
So you're proposing that we, just do the DRB to see how everything goes?
Yeah, I think we'll take a step at a time here.
Okay.
Best Buy. I'm seeing two.
Now, where were we gonna get the funding from?
Because
Do
of
we
the
have,
program.
Kathy, do we have any money in our general fund after you wrote, we had some big orders this time?
I'll have to look and see what I have left in software with her.
We're in November, we just put it in the January budget.
Exactly, put it in next year's budget.
You wanna wait until after they put it in the budget?
Yeah, well,
That's fine, that's
about
fine.
6 weeks away.
If I may, we may also just wanna wait, till we figure out this .gov email.
So that won't change, no,
We won't,
that won't change the cost, no.
oh, okay, not the cost, it would, the GoDaddy, there'll be a change in who, we don't,
You
but
don't know what
we'll,
that is.
we'll cross that bridge. I have some ideas, but.
I make a motion that we proceed with this. For 2 reasons. First of all, it was requested by the committee. I think they do a good job. Look, I'm sure it's gonna save us some money. And then we can build on this for future computers or iPads for other committees. So I make that motion.
That we put it in 2026 budget?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There a second?
And you want just for the DRB board?
yes.
Okay, I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded to fund laptops for the DRB members, 5 DRB members, and put it in the 2026 budget. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
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 Opposed, so moved. Decals for town vehicles.
Okay, so that's a separate thing that I left on your, mine though.
Yeah, I think we're done.
So I got 2 prices. God, what is So when you talked about the promote Swanton and the decals, you all have pictures of what they would look like. I got 2 prices, one from 1220 Graphics, and the price would be $1,372.50 to do the trucks and the V-plow. And then the second estimate is from a place in Milton, whom they got the decals for Pat's new truck from, and for all of the same amount would be $487.19.
Sold.
Wow, that's a big difference.
Which is a big difference.
And who'd you say you got the,
Fonz,
yeah, but how'd you find out
so
about that?
Jeff got them, so
Jeff.
he already has, what do they call that?
This, the screen print, like for the D, he's
Like
already got
stamp.
the setup to make.
To make
So he
the
doesn't have to
Swanton one.
create the new, like anytime you do a new decal or setup, there's a setup fee to make that decal. I know in screen printing, it's the.
So he already has that for the town of Swanton Highway Department because he's already made that.
So this one he's already has,
That one you already
yeah.
have.
Yep. He made them for Pat's truck for $20. So that's why Jeff suggested I reach out to him, and this was the second estimate he gave me.
So what's the total?
1220 graphics is $1,372.50. And he had $440 to put them on, but Jeff said you don't need to pay him to put them on, he'll put them on because he put them on Pat's truck. And then the second place was $487.19. That's to do all of the trucks, the V-plow, and I think it was to put the town of, was it not on the grader or something? There was 2 pieces of equipment Kevin said didn't have the town of Swanton on it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
What's the V-plow?
The,
in front of the state
In front of
capable.
Oh, the, just, okay,
Our
the,
decor.
the sign, yes, I'm thinking, wait a minute, I don't know if it's
But these are
V-plow we
Our
have.
lawn ornament.
Yeah, the one, okay, got it.
They're not gonna be this,
Yeah,
Good.
yeah, that's how they look.
like this.
Yeah.
But you're showing pictures here of, on the side of these
Because
trucks.
the
That truck needs one too.
branding in the QR
Are
code will
going in
only
the
be on the
back.
backs. The
Okay.
door will, they'll only add swantvt.gov.
Okay,
They already have the town of
Yeah,
Swanton.
they have this,
Yeah,
they're
we're,
adding
we're always
this.
gonna put that on.
Yeah,
alright, so this is only going on the new trucks.
no, it's gonna go on the
It's going
back
on
of
the back
all
of
of your
every,
trucks.
on the
Of
back.
every,
Everything.
even the big
Yeah.
dump truck?
Yeah,
People can throw you pictures, or all those pictures of it.
that's what this one is.
Pictures.
I didn't get that one, maybe it's the first one. But anyway, yeah, okay,
Where would the money
That's the back
coming
of the dump
from?
truck.
yep.
Where do we get the money from?
Well,
think-
$400 and something dollars, I think you could get that most any place in the highway budget, under repairs or something
1220
like
is
that.
the Swanton business.
What's that?
The 1220 is the Swanton business, but that's a big price tag.
Is this a promote Swanton thing? I
Yeah.
thought you were gonna fund it.
Oh, I
Yeah,
can.
well,
I
highway
can fund
fund
the
it.
487, no
Oh, that's
problem, you want the cash right now, give it to you.
Highway will cover it if you folks say do it. We'll find a place to pay for
You
it.
want the cash, I got it.
We're talking the 487.
Right,
Miscellaneous expense.
what's that?
Miscellaneous expense.
There you go. Well, we're just under truck parts, so
Yeah.
we gotta,
Yeah,
we
we
can do
got
it,
it.
we can do it.
I don't know, did they say that they would put these on before spring with the salt and stuff?
I wouldn't,
Wait till spring to put
Probably
them
not,
on?
yeah, and they must be kinda bad right now.
yeah.
And the QR code is the one that I sent
Yeah.
you? Okay, let's triple check to make sure that
So,
is
yeah.
active before we do
Did
that.
anyone fix the one at the LVRT because you can't scan it? It's covered
No,
by the
I let her know,
Okay,
yeah.
You get a motion to approve that?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the $487 and how many cents?
from Fawn,
From-
Fawn's.
yeah,
the
from
local
Fawn.
19 cents.
And 19 cents from Fonz for the decals.
There is a second.
Second,
Motion been made and seconded, any discussion?
Well, this goes, this takes place, we're gonna start doing it immediately. I just
They'll
heard
order,
waiting for
they'll
salt.
order them.
Okay.
They'll get them on
So
as
we're gonna put them on as soon as practical.
practical, yeah.
Okay.
Kevin will know.
and the
Yeah.
QR code.
All
works,
those
I
in
just
favor
checked.
state aye.
Aye.
Alright.
Aye. Opposed, so moved. Library sump pump,
yeah, I did hear, today from, Alliance, and had a conversation with them. Their, total estimate to put in the heavy-duty pump system would be, for their cost, installation, they're estimating just under $11,000. He says in his opinion, and they aren't really comfortable and have much experience in the heavy-duty pumps in an elevator. But he says what you've got in there now are 2 pumps that are what they would call throwaway pumps. So if they burn out, you replace them. Every couple of years, it's $2,000. So he says, and there's no guarantee that the $11,000 will really do the trick. So I had this conversation with Joel this afternoon in my office, and Joel said, well, why don't you give Blas Skangus a call and see what he thinks? Maybe there's another mechanical company he would suggest. So I called, I was able to get him late this afternoon, and what he has suggested was that he has an engineer, well, first of all, he has a gentleman here that he works with that is more familiar with pumps and elevators, but also there is an engineer that he has out of Rutland who's coming up for another job in St. Albans. When he comes up to St. Albans, he would let me know, and then we'll have to get the elevator company to come and they can all coordinate it, we'll all go over there and they'll lift that elevator up and these guys will get in there and take a look at what they think the problem is. It may, Laz says, well, do you know if that was ever sealed? And I said, I don't know. Was there ever, and maybe that's a way of stopping the water from coming in. So he's willing to do that. I mean, there would be a cost, of course. He didn't know how much of the engineering time, but we'd be paying the engineer just to come from St. Albans, not from Rutland. To give us an idea of the best way to fix that.
Have you got a time frame on that?
He would hope somewhere is before Christmas, but he's not really sure. And we have to, of course, coordinate it with the elevator company.
And if we do that, Brian, are there any dangers to whatever's over there for us waiting?
Not, I mean,
We're gonna be putting the staff in danger, I guess that's my.
no, I don't think that, they're not putting the staff in danger. I would say that, you know, if it floods, if it stops and it floods, it's just gonna be up into the basement and, but both pumps are operating, the floats were working when last tested. So we'll make sure when they're here, we'll test those floats when the elevator guy, and the alarms were working, everything was working. So we'll test that when
So
they're.
we're talking maybe 3 weeks before this is.
Right, he's hoping before Christmas, before we can get an idea of what's going on, yeah. So I just let him know tomorrow if that's the way you proceed. I think that's probably, maybe I felt more comfortable talking to him than I did with people from the line.
Yeah, I'm not happy at all with the
Yeah.
Alliance's response to you
Yeah.
and I don't know, I just been waiting.
You know, Alliance is the one that put the new pumps in when they
Yes.
both quit.
Yeah,
And they never changed the pipe that's partially plugged, they left it.
they left the pipe, but,
That's bad right there.
Yep.
That's real bad.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a major job,
Um,
changing the pipe.
and it's only about a 5-foot length of pipe.
I know.
They said.
And they, no, I wouldn't commit anything right now to Alliance, let's see what that guy can come up with.
Okay,
Everyone good with that? I think that's the way to go.
Yeah.
okay, that's what we'll do.
FEMA buyout.
Okay, we have 3 FEMA properties that FEMA will buy out. This has been going on now for 2.5 years. The first one is ready to have a closing. It's scheduled for December 8th at 366 North River Street. The people who own the property now have paid the taxes. So there's a proration of taxes, which we basically owe, the buyer owes the seller $41.67 for the municipal side and $1,117.78 for the education, for a total of $1,159.45. I asked FEMA, well, okay, I need to go with a check to give that to the buyer, or to the seller, because they've paid them. I said, so do I just bill that back under the grant? Well, no, this isn't eligible under the grant. This is not eligible for FEMA fees. So, so I'm just looking for the approval that we can pay them $1,159.45.
Are you allowed to say which property this is?
You just said.
366 North
I mean,
River
you
Street.
have to give me where's the building, whereabouts?
On North River Street.
I know where that is.
Yeah, so go down, it's,
You know where the restaurant used to be?
yeah,
Yep.
across from the
Right
restaurant.
before
Pretty
the-
much right across the road from
Pretty
there,
much
maybe
across
to the
from
left a
there.
little
It's
bit.
an older mobile home that was added on to, and,
Oh, sure, okay.
yeah, it's,
Makes sense.
yeah.
It's the last of the one.
I mean, to be honest, I mean, if the taxes weren't paid, we could still go ahead and then, I should probably say this, but request the Board of Civil Authority to forgive them, but we can't do that. We actually have to give these people the money.
Your motion to,
I'll make a
Allow Brian
motion
to
that
make that-
we, pay the bill.
Yeah, okay.
And then, Jim, you got it, you do have the amount?
Yeah, $1,159.45.
Yeah, and I'll give Kathy a copy of the settlement statement, and she'll have a copy of this motion, and she'll give me a check, and I'll go up to the closing. Closing is in Von Como's office in Municipal.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion?
Well, the only thing is, we didn't talk about where the money was gonna come from. Should it come general highway or what?
General.
General,
General, okay,
there's
so-
economic development money, this is sort of, kinda,
Yeah, no, let's keep right on going with the miscellaneous. We already blew the hell out of it. We might as well-
I stopped there.
we'll just have to hopefully plan the
Definitely
closings
gonna
a
have
little
to raise
different
that.
for the next ones.
Okay, after further discussion, we're gonna go under general budget miscellaneous. Any further discussion? All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so moved. Newtown business, 2026 budget planning.
Yeah, it's that time of year again, as we all know, and, in the past, we just have the departments come in. The two biggest ones that we have to have come in, I'm sure the numbers are not gonna be ready until after the first of the year, and that's the police and the fire. I think the library is, I believe, ready, but the one thing that we need to know is what you're looking at for salary increases. I've talked with the village, they're looking at 3%. The cost of living is somewhere just a little under 3%. Our insurance rates will only go up 1% this year.
So there won't be a net loss to the employee.
Right,
Well, and we're talking about 1% of one number versus 3% of another,
Right.
but we won't dilute the raise.
that's right.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I think I could support something in the 3% range. And again, this is for budget planning until we get the budgets in front of us, but, I don't know, I'll throw that out there.
You know,
Okay.
and I think if it's, 3% isn't a lot, but it's there, and we should let our employees know that that's no reflection of our thankfulness for the way they work.
Right.
Okay? We'd like it to be 10.
Oh, yeah.
It's 3, and we appreciate their work. Now, while we're on that, are we gonna present, offer some callers around our budget? Shall we say to the highway department, we'd like you to stay, just for example, we'd like you to stay within a 3% increase over last year? Because in all fairness to them, we should give them a target to
Yeah.
work within. So if they use a 3% salary increase, we know what the insurance is gonna be 1%, which is fantastic. How about all the other expenses? Should we suggest they try to stay within 3%?
I'll tell you right now, the highway will stay within the 3% with the exception of what and then figure out how we're gonna pay for the Berry Road culvert. But all the other
Yeah,
line
that's over here,
items,
we
separate
understand.
of that, we'll definitely be within that 3%.
And that's good to hear, but other departments may not have that luxury.
They probably won't.
Yeah, so should we say to them, we encourage you to stay within 3% of what last year's budget was?
I mean, when you say other departments, as far as our direct influence is general and rec.
What do you think, Kathy?
I'll have to look, cause electrics, the rates went up for electric. I mean, that's a given.
Well, just try
Well,
it.
yeah, we can, I mean, we'll definitely be within, I mean, we go over budget on miscellaneous expense, but pretty much everything else is.
Well, I guess my point is, why don't we try it?
Yep,
And see if it works, and if it doesn't, then get some extension.
for
in
hours, but we
circumstances.
can't control like the library or
Yeah,
rec or
but we should tell
fire
the library
or
folks, we're looking at a
rescue.
3% cap.
We don't control that.
We should tell the library folks and the rec department, we're looking at a 3% cap over last year. So at least there'll be some discipline in the process.
I understand,
way-
but you just added a whole list of things that we're gonna add to our budget because we're adding other responsibilities. I still think we're gonna be within that 3%,
Well,
but
the answer to that though is, 3% of those line items that you normally submit, we understand that 5,000 is a new expenditure, not to cut necessarily out of other
Exactly.
line items, but, right, I mean, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
I'm just making sure I understood.
And getting back to the presentation of all the discussion, there was 6 other issues, 6 other things that you wanted. Some of that may come out of that 600,000. Okay, so let's keep this group here of stuff that we're looking at, and then our budget over here.
the annual budget versus the other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No
So
problem.
what I'll do is in the next day or so, I'll send a memo out to all departments that, you know, we've had this discussion, and then we'd like to keep everything to a maximum 3%.
Yeah,
Do your
to
best
state that the board's
Yeah.
goal is not any more than 3%.
Of the controllable items, we can't hold them responsible.
No, but it's our goal, you know, you put it to that way, so they understand.
Is there gonna be a schedule of when you'd like them prepared by? I know in years past we did, and then last year we didn't, so.
Well, every year when we did, they never followed it anyway, so I think what we'll do is probably ask the library to come in. I would think the first meeting in December and see what we got, if they're ready, come in first meeting in December. We gotta work on the rescue. I'll just send and ask them probably more toward maybe the second meeting in December.
And can you ask them to submit their budgets to us at least a week before the
Yeah.
meeting, so that we're not sitting here just going through all the
Yeah.
papers and trying to figure out
Yeah.
what else.
And I would ask that you talk with Bill and ask for the second meeting in December, and let them come back and tell us no, yeah.
Yeah,
It's a budget. I keep
Right.
trying to tell people it's a budget. And the village always, and I love the village, don't get me wrong when I say this, but they wanna get right to the exact penny of 2025,
right.
and so they hold over. But we're asking for a budget, not the exact amount you're gonna spend, but,
I can ask.
because we have, what, third week in January? We have to have everything ready to go to the press? Yeah.
What is the deadline for signing the warning?
My schedule.
Okay, while Kathy's looking for that, I have another question. Included in our budget, we have all of the add-ons, I call them like the dangling participants.
The
Appropriations.
Yeah, at the end. And I think at one time we used to vote on each one of those, and then we group them and we vote on them in a, considering what's going on with taxes and whatever, should we put those back into singular line items so the taxpayers can say, no, I don't wanna do that one. I don't wanna jeopardize the whole budget because somebody doesn't like a couple of those, and then they vote no on the budget. That's my only thought.
Yeah, my thought on that, and what we had talked about in my previous stint on the select board, is doing that every so many years.
Yeah,
You know, like,
no, that's good.
yep, you know, you do it next, if we do it for 2026, then we say, you know what? Let's wait till 2028 or 2029.
So, and
Because
exactly.
you got the voters approval.
So maybe it's time that we do it separately, as a separate line item for each one, and let the voters make a decision. Is it time now to do that?
I don't know what that total amount is, but anyway,
It's not
It'll be a
large,
big ballot,
what's that?
it'll be a long ballot.
Well, and let's talk about these requests for a few minutes. If a request comes in to us
Yeah.
for X number of dollars, and we find out that 85% of that request goes for salaries, we wanna approve that?
Do you have a certain
Well,
appropriation
I'm
in
just saying-
mind?
Well, I don't know. I think-
Because if you do, if you know that, then we should have that discussion as a board, because we don't have to put it in there.
That's what I mean, so should we say to these folks that are coming in here, our expectations
40,000.
is that, would be that your
Actually, last 30
salaries and
days.
benefits don't exceed
Moves
X
to
percent of your total budget, because otherwise we're just funding jobs.
That's true.
what's the total on the appropriation?
Kathy just said,
Take 1,500 off that, so it's like 38,500.
yeah, 38.5,
38,000 or 3,800.
38,000.
38,000.
And that's significant.
Yeah.
That's significant.
That includes Franklin County Industrial Corporation?
No.
No,
No, okay, those, that's
No,
separate.
we have I mean,
It's like the nonprofits, right?
right,
That
some
come
of
to
them are
us.
$500, I
Last
mean,
year,
and,
asked the letters to
right, so our.
support their requests. We talked about it.
38,972.
Now, when we get these requests in, Brian, do we get their operating budget, the full budget, or they just set us a
No,
letter?
just a letter.
And then we have in the past invited them in to talk about their
Okay.
program if it was something new.
Should we be asking going forward, if they come into us and said, I need $2,500 for whatever, should we ask for a copy of their budget? Because we're gonna be contributing to the success of that budget. And then we can determine if 80% of their expenses go to salaries, I wouldn't be interested in giving them any money, to be honest with you. I've been on some boards where if your administrative expenses are more than 20% of your total budget, they don't contribute. Now, that's pretty severe. But I think we need to begin to put some guardrails on this stuff.
Well,
It's not an automatic, bingo, what next,
I
bingo.
mean, we're in the budget season, I mean, we could request, I don't know, I guess we could request something, I don't know, about budget, or,
Well, the
I think,
budget,
I think we're out of time for this year to prep a letter to each one of these places, asking for that information and sorting it out.
maybe it could come with a submission, Joe.
Some of them we've already got the submissions for. They start, probably gotten my folder, I can bring it with me. Our biggest one is the VNA Hospice of, theirs is 13,497, and they serve a lot of people in our
Oh,
community.
I realize that, yeah, it's a good
Um,
organization.
And then the next one is the food shelf. There's a couple food shelves, I mean, they don't, most people are volunteers, I don't think so I don't know about the food shelves, and I just don't know which ones, I don't know if they all have operating budgets. Like Laura's house is the safe house for women, I mean, there's a few, I mean, I think I have gotten some in and they've given us information on how
All
many
I'm
people.
talking about is some financial
Right,
accountability,
but they
that's all.
pretty much, I'll look to see what I got, because I have gotten some that have given us, some of them just give how many people they serve in our community.
That's good.
So like, I mean, like the adult, I think it was the adult learning, we just give them $500 and they tell how many people they serve in the community. So I can get, some of them have sent the information in.
And we
some
might
of them
say, we'll only exercise this type of review if the request is over $500 or $1,000. And then these smaller ones, they just come in and get paid. I mean, this is for discussion, but I think we need to introduce some financial discipline here as we go forward. 38 grand is a lot of money. But it sounds like there's two
Now, how many
culprits.
total roughly? 20?
$25.
25, so 38 grand, you're averaging a little over a grand per.
Yeah.
I'm not supporting budget reviews of the 25 different agencies. I would support if you wanted to have an up-down vote on these separately every 3-4 years, I'd support something like that, but that's just my take on it. I think the different agencies, if we got any question regarding how they operate, then we should go specifically to that agency for whatever details that we would like to see.
Well, let's start with that. Let's start with listing each one on the ballot or whatever it is. And then we can begin moving towards a little more information as we go forward in subsequent years.
Any other opinions, folks?
Putting them in the ballot in March, for the people to vote on.
It's basically 25 single lines. with a
Yeah.
Space between, so yeah, it's gonna add maybe an extra page, right?
And whether or not we get $500.
yeah, but you're gonna leave
I don't
out
think-
Franklin County.
I don't know
you're
if
gonna
we
leave
need to
Franklin
have
County
voter
Industrial
approval for-
Corporation.
Because that's something we budget every year.
Yeah, but it's an
It's
appropriation,
not
is
an
it?
appropriation, it's an expense. It's in
It's
your
an
expense
expense.
line items, it's
It's
not in the
like
appropriation line items.
It's not in, okay, but
No.
it's still, but it's still listed separate on
It's
our
part of our budget.
budget, yeah.
And it's listed separate in our budget. It's not an appropriation in our budget, it's an
Okay.
expense in our budget. It's just like the,
County.
Regional
might be better
planning.
to-
The
It's like-
judges.
Regional, where's regional planning?
That's
Same thing.
Northwest Regional Planning, that's an expense.
So it's still in it.
Because we can't, that's something we get every year, it's about on
Yeah, but do we have to pay it?
Yeah, you do.
We really,
You do.
so a town doesn't have no choice.
Not in the Northwest Regional Planning and, the Solid Waste District, no, because it's all part of the contract that is within
The
our
county.
area. Every town,
we voted.
village,
It's our share to
city
pay,
pays for it.
Okay, all right.
this is, again, the nonprofits that are out there that,
It's like, it's like your Green Mountain Transit picks up people to take them to their doctor's appointments. The bookmobile, adult learning.
Those are expenses.
Franklin.
Those are appropriations.
Oh, those are
Those are the
appropriations.
appropriations. You're talking
Watershed
Swanton
mentoring.
the food shelf, Age
Yeah.
Well,
Northwest
Yeah, okay.
Access TV, the Samaritan House, NCSS.
Okay, well, it's just gonna be a hell of a long ballot, that's all.
I'm just throwing it out. You can decide to continue in the past.
I think it's too confusing for voters, I just
Yeah,
feel
I
like,
ain't crazy about doing it on a
Yeah.
ballot either. I think as a board, if there's something that we don't like, or, see if you got something in particular you wanna bring it before us, and then we don't have to warn it. I think that's a better way of going.
Having worked the elections, the poll workers get a lot of complaints, well, who put all these things on this ballot?
Okay, all right,
Yeah,
that's fine.
January
It's,
22nd is when it has to be signed.
It's even bad in general election when you got all the justices
Justice
of
of
the
the
peace,
peace,
15, both no more than 15, and,
a lot of them left blank.
yeah. So,
maybe to address some of Steve's concern, when we do the general budget in front of us, let's have that list, which it would be anyway.
yeah.
That's part of your submission, and if there's one or two of those that we want some extra information, let's just say, let's get the information, and whether we put it forward this year as is, that's fine, but if we want more detail for the next
Have we
year's
ever
submission.
refused to be questioned?
Yeah.
We
Yes.
have.
We refused, we
We
always brought new ones in,
Mhm.
and then if someone wanted an increase, so some of them would always put in for the same amount, but then someone come in and ask for $2,000 more, we'd say, come in and talk to us
Okay,
on why you
all right,
want that.
all right.
And actually, we had voters,
Right.
sometimes, we had the voters vote that as a
Yeah.
separate line item,
The increase.
the increase, yes, that
Yeah.
we did.
We did.
Okay, so there's a
Yeah.
mechanism there.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Okay, policy review. Proposed personnel policy changes. I know there was discussion last week and then some revised changes were sent in. Or were submitted back to everybody by Christina.
They're quite minor, if I remember.
Right.
One quick thing, will we get updates of the policy for the binder once they get,
Well, once you approve,
once we approve them, yeah?
yeah.
And one thing I talked to Christina about is, over the years, something's happened to the formatting in this. This thing can be cut by about 6 or 7 pages by yanking spaces, and I'll work with Christina to get this cleaned up a bit.
Yeah, and there's some other things that, I've been looking at it because the weather's been shitty and I've been sitting in the house a lot. When it says the town of Swanton employees, I'm assuming because we do the payroll, the rec is Swanton employees, the library's in Swanton employees, right? Town of Swanton employees, but they have different policies they follow, even, I don't know about what we
They
have
have
to.
their own personnel policy.
I know, they
The
only
library
have, that's
does.
why, and maybe it should be noted in here that, the rec is a town employee, but they follow the policy of the rec and that policy has been approved by the board, cause remember we went through all the
But the
policy?
employees of the rec department fall under the personnel policy.
Yes, under their personnel
Oh, it's under
policy.
ours.
under ours.
Ours.
So, but there are some differences though, aren't there?
Yes, I believe, I mean, I follow it, yes,
You don't
but-
have, you don't have a separate personnel policy for rec employees, they fall under this, it's the library.
It's the
That
library.
has a
The library
separate,
has the-
Yeah.
But so, should that be noted in there that it includes the rec for boards to follow to make sure that
What number is that, Earl?
Number 1.2 in its scope of coverage.
Just put in food departments.
And the rec.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the library too needs to be
No,
mentioned.
they
in
have
there.
their own personal
But that
policy.
should just mention it in
Library.
here.
Yeah, but it needs to be mentioned are, because technically they are town employees.
Library will operate under their own personnel policy?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Although paid for by the town of Swanton, the
Oh,
library employees will follow the personnel policy of the library trustees, and that's what it should say.
Okay.
and I guess the main thing that started this is the salary increases, and there's something in here that's really weird too, because if you look at another spot, I don't remember exactly where it is now, but it says that
Why
all.
is yours red?
Oh, because we got some notations made in here that, for possible things, but I'm only bringing up a couple of them right now.
Well, if you wanna add them in.
Somewheres in here, it says that, you know, we're gonna meet and after the town budget's basically approved, and then we're gonna set the salaries and stuff, but that ain't the way we do it.
No,
We do it more like this, on 3.5. So that other one's in here somewhere, I've seen it a couple times, something to do with, at the reorganizational meeting and all that. So that shouldn't be in there if we're gonna do it the way we're doing it. And I think we should continue to do it the way we're doing it, but.
Compensation plan 3.2 is what you're talking about.
Yeah, is that it?
Salary increases 3.5.
Well, 3.2 just says they're gonna do a compensation plan, which basically
Yeah.
is gonna be 3%.
Yeah, the plan will be implemented on the first day following the approved annual town of Swanton budget. And I don't know what the hell that means. Listen,
So should that have added that the select board will agree to that rate increase in December?
yeah, effective the first of the year, cause we're on a calendar year, right?
Yeah, the
So that-
compensation plan being done after that's
Yeah.
mute, cause we're already paying.
Yeah,
for it, so
we
we'll
already
start
done it, so
January.
that's why I say it doesn't make it.
But if the budget fails, the raises don't go through. Until,
Yeah, they probably stay in place unless we cut them
that's what I
when
mean,
we,
everybody
yeah.
stays in place with no raise
Yeah.
until we,
But your raise, you've already
We
done it.
already, they're already getting a raise, we're just gonna have to go back and adjust the budget and revote the budget, but we've already agreed to a 3% raise, so they're
if the,
getting
bu-
that
but
started.
that's subject to the budget passing?
No,
No?
no, wow, technically, we could have to take the raise away if we can't get the voters to approve a budget, yes, Steve. But we're on a calendar year, so when we're doing the budget here in December, we're talking 3%. It starts in January, cause that's when our fiscal year starts.
They're getting their pay
Yeah.
on January.
Yeah.
The voters vote down the budget, we look at how to trim the budget, and then,
Just so you can.
and go from there.
But the 3% continues.
Well, I would certainly try it another time and see whether the voters pass it when we trim other stuff. I wouldn't-
Yeah, I might look
wouldn't
at
go after
cutting up,
salary
yeah, I
first.
might look at cutting other things first.
Right,
Oh, I agree, It
Yeah.
doesn't seem, it doesn't seem to fit.
it's crazy.
We approve it, and then the budget fails.
yeah, well, the whole thing, when you think about it.
Yeah, I
you-
know.
Your budget, you vote, you start January 1. Midnight on New Year's Day, you start spending the money. It's not approved until March.
And then 10.5 months later, you collect the money.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, it is.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be real smart to spend a $200,000 appropriation before it got approved. Yes, I agree with you there, but basic operating expenses, we've gotta cover,
Right.
right?
So we build it in there, if they
Yeah.
vote down the budget, and all the line items take a look, and I certainly would
Because
go
none of
ahead.
the voted line items, like the appropriations, well, the items for like fire, rec, all that, none of them request their money until it passes. So none of them request money until after March.
Have we ever had a budget defeated?
No,
Okay,
only the school budget.
oh yeah.
Hey, you know, if, and I'm not
Put that back.
proposing this, but if you adopted a fiscal year.
Then I gotta go to page,
that's
before we get
probably
into
the way,
finishing
let
up what
that
you had,
conversion
23, I think it's on. This is a weird one. And I can't figure that out, but I guess that's the way it was. Is it 23? Yeah. Okay, yeah, number 5. Department employees will purchase 1 pair of work boots. Said boots are to be purchased at St. Albans Cooperative Store, but that's no longer
Right.
possible.
Right.
So I don't know why we put in there, start
So
with
that needs to be changed.
Yeah.
What number is that?
number 5.
Yeah,
Boots.
7.1.
Workplace, yeah, because
Okay,
your
they
pages
don't-
are different because of all your things you've added.
Yeah,
Yeah, ours.
okay, but it's number 5 on
7.1.
Article 7, workplace
7.1.
safety.
7.1. Okay. I need to pull up, but she can't buy boots on
Now, I think it should just simply say that I guess we're gonna continue to provide the 150, but the boots they have to qualify for, I'm sure there must be some kind of safety thing they want, right?
Gotta be,
You
yeah,
know,
they gotta be a safety boot.
we don't care where you buy them, but they have to be,
Should we put a limit on it though?
It is
150.
Okay.
that's it. If they pay 300, that's their problem.
We just take out the purchase at St. Albans and charge to the account, 'cause it,
Yep,
And
they
then
never
just
go
clean
over
up where it's-
150.
what's
They
that?
never go over 150.
what?
They never go over 150 for the boots.
They probably go to Lenny's now.
then we just gotta change the verbiage of it
Yeah.
purchased elsewhere.
Yeah,
And
All they-
didn't we buy extra boots? Didn't they buy two? When the co-op was
Well,
going
they
out of
did,
business, they
yeah,
were
when the
running
co-op
a
was
big
going out of
sale.
business, they got such a deal, they bought two.
so I don't need any for another 20 years
So
then.
they might not, well, do
They
them.
got 2 for the price of 1.
Yeah.
Take a sip.
Earl, what else?
Oh, now back to just finishing up what we started this on, and that's what the select board's review and, you know,
You had a wiring diagram that should be part of this, document.
yeah.
Flow chart.
It was under here. Right here. It was all in here. I gotta find mine.
So I made this on my Excel. I did make, after Joel was in earlier today, I did put the reports to in a smaller font, so it is smaller than the names of the employees.
Okay, there's one other thing I did forgot. There isn't nothing in this policy other than it simply states that the town of Swanton does not pay accrued vacation time. But wonder if somebody's retiring or is moving on in good standing and they might have a week or two, I don't know if it's been done
They've earned it, and in the past, they've always been paid for it.
so, but our policy doesn't state that.
We as a
That'd be
board
bad.
can approve it,
Yeah.
because it's just a separate issue.
But it should be in the policy, shouldn't it?
Well, if we're,
Because
You
somebody
said-
else could look at it and say, no, they ain't in the policy, so we ain't doing it.
I agree, it probably should be, because
Could be as
You-
determined by the select board. or
if it's be
something.
determined by the select board, but once you approved it, once you've set the precedent,
You bet.
Yeah.
then you're gonna do it, so it might as well just go in the policy.
So do you wanna say, you know, they would be entitled up to 2 years if they've been a minimum number of years employed or something?
I thought there was a cap, so you guys aren't eligible for it, for you two, right?
For what?
For accrued,
Well, I earn my vacation time, and I
no,
earn
no, no, no,
my-
no, but I mean,
Nobody accrues
Nobody
time,
accrues
nobody
vacation.
That's what I'm
accrues,
talking about.
no one accrues it,
Nobody.
it's, at the end of every year, everyone gets so many hours vacation and so many hours sick time. If they don't use it, they lose it at the end of the year, except for they can carry over 40
40
hours
hours.
vacation
okay, all right.
into the next year, but it has to use by.
But this is for somebody that's gonna continue working.
No one accrues.
I know.
Only what you earn during the year.
Okay, but if somebody's been working here for 10 years and all of a sudden they, well, I'm retired, or they can get a better job, higher pay, they might have 2 weeks of vacation they didn't use,
Right.
are they, it doesn't say in there they're entitled to this.
Right, but the board has always paid their accrued vacation time and sick time.
Then it should be put in there.
Right, because it's,
what,
the
what,
precedent's been set. If
Yeah.
you said no, then you're looking liability.
I think what it says here is someone just can't come in and say, at the end of December, I got X number of hours, give me some money.
That's right.
So what we add in, upon retirement or,
Yeah.
or,
Leaving for
or,
employment.
yeah.
Or leaving in good standing now, in
Well,
good standing.
how you
Well-
gonna determine good standing?
Well, you're not getting fired.
Well, no, but during the time they worked there, they've still accrued that time, whether they did it a good way or.
Well, all right, then you can leave it that way.
That's
The
fine,
way I
that's
look,
a
the way I
fine-
look
that's
at
a
it is,
fine
you
line
know,
to draw.
retirement or
Leaving employment.
leaving employment
Okay,
will be paid,
Yeah.
but do
earn vacation.
you wanna give them the 40 hours, or do you want to give them, because you're allowed to accrue 40 hours right now?
No, depending on how long you've been here, you get so many weeks vacation. So you earn that vacation during the year.
Yeah,
And your sick time you earn during the year. So basically, everyone gets 12 days sick time no matter what, 96 hours. They accrue it and they earn it. So if they, in vacation time, some have 2 weeks, some have 3 weeks. I don't think anyone's got 4 weeks yet, have they?
yeah,
You
but
get
they,
4 weeks?
Yeah, but I never take it.
Oh, you negotiated better than I did.
I know, I should have
Probably
negotiated.
4 weeks.
I got 3
Anyways,
weeks this year.
So if say they leave middle of the year, then they have 4 weeks vacation. So basically, we would pay them for their accrued vacation that they've earned, which would be 2 weeks vacation.
How much can they carry over?
Vacation time, then carry over 40 hours. Sick
Just-
time,
just
nothing.
40.
Just 40.
Just 40.
So the worst case is someone that's getting 5 weeks, if they're carrying over 40, they could have 240
If they work
hours.
through the end of the year.
and didn't take any time. So
Right.
that would be the worst case.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, but if you're only carrying 40, we're not getting in this spot where someone's really accumulating.
No, because in the
That would be the
past,
worst
Yeah.
I
case.
think the village can do that. I think they accumulate.
What's that?
Well, I think, or did they stop that? They used to. They used to let them accumulate, but it got very expensive because it
Well,
was,
like the last.
So what did we do with Mrs. Dufresne? Didn't we give her a pretty good chunk?
That was in May.
What?
So it's not-
Mrs.
now
Dufresne
it's
left?
here.
yeah.
right.
Didn't
It's
we-
Well,
up-
whatever,
it's up to them.
whatever she had accrued in vacation time, so we've already set the precedent, and that's why we should put it in there.
Yeah, it's.
Now I understand how you're doing
It's
that,
four,
okay.
it's
okay.
4.1, so we
Yeah.
just clean up the language in 4.1 to add that.
This is for retirement or leaving.
Yeah.
But do you wanna
And
put
you
a
should
minimum, do you wanna put it, if they only been here a year, do you wanna do that?
It should be what
Well,
they've
they
earned, like,
accrue it. They earn it as they go, like they have
that's
to.
how we did it last time.
They're
I
here
know,
a year and
that's
they
how
do
they
well,
did it.
the worst case, you're gonna pay
Just
40,
as
1
long
week's
as-
pay.
Yeah.
If they've been here a year and they've done well and they leave.
Okay, alright, I'm
Yeah,
just bringing it
no,
up.
it's a good question, I don't have any problem.
Okay.
Yeah, I just do not put in a time,
Yeah,
if they,
alright,
Yeah.
Their accrued vacation time.
they're accrued, you know, if somebody that's retiring or leaving, it would be entitled to their accrued
cash
vacation.
for their
Yeah.
accrued vacation
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
Probably their sick time too. Accrued vacation and sick time.
I don't think we have to pay for sick.
If they accrue it and they leave, you do. And they earned it.
Yeah, but they're not sick when they leave. Yeah, sick leave is for being sick.
Sick leave, technically, you only need to do, 40 hours a week? 5 days by law, so. And we get 12 days.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah,
we should
that's
pay
not
for
bad.
their sick leave.
We don't do
Yeah.
it anyway. Oh, I like
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
It just wasn't what's been done in the past, that's
So you
all.
want me to put those changes and send it out to you again?
please.
We'll have a few more
well,
changes.
then you got the changes as about the, who reviews who and all that stuff, is this?
That was in there.
Yeah, okay, but there's something in there, almost, the select board does control the, it does decide the town clerk's salary.
Yeah, you do.
So I, you know,
Don't mess with
almost
that.
looked like it was crossed out, but I
Was
ain't
it
sure.
the salary?
Not the review, we don't do the review.
But
No.
was
The
template
salaries,
put in the
and appointed people too, because if the
I thought it
DRB
was
wants a
all
raise,
town
we have to
employees.
approve it, don't we?
Yeah.
So
I
it needs,
thought the raises were for all town employees, and even though they're appointed or elected, they're
well,
still
it
town
look, I
employees.
don't know, you had lines in there, you probably ought to rewrite the whole damn thing.
There wasn't. Yeah, there was only a few things you changed, right? That you
Yeah.
sent out the
No,
last
this
time?
is, this is mine.
No, and I don't have the one, hell, you got it on your computer?
didn't print it off because I sent it to you in your email.
I've been looking at that email for 2 days, but I
All
didn't
right.
print it off.
In interest of tonight, I would suggest this be an iteration thing. We make some more changes and send it out.
So
Yeah,
I'll send it out and if you can reply, if
yeah,
you want me to change it,
yeah,
that would be helpful.
okay.
Just reply to all though, that way,
Yeah.
that way we're seeing that.
And save a little time.
Road takeover policy,
Okay, well, are we okay with this?
Are you okay
oh,
with it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Put it in your binder?
well,
sign?
that's, okay, that's,
I mean, it looks good. And you're gonna put up
was
your,
this just as a flow chart to report, or was this the flow chart that's supposed to be telling who,
Exactly that.
who writes the appraisals, that's.
who
in-
does
that's-
the, yeah, who
That's in
does
the,
the
that
review?
paragraph she sent us, that was changed, which basically is this, this is the same thing.
So you're saying the reports to select board means that's how,
That's who you guys should be evaluating, is Brian,
okay, all right, that's what it means.
Amy, well, Kevin would be the road commissioner.
Well,
Of course,
I
the
think,
select board.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
something we gotta decide.
Okay, so.
In here in the policy, and I caught the commissioner piece, the select board, you put road commissioner, but I think it should have been road foreman, and we agreed on that. In here, in this thing, not on this.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll make, did I change it in there?
Well, you took the note today.
Yeah, and there's, if you wanna go back to that, there's also something in there that says select board, doesn't say select board chair, it says select board
Department head.
department head. And this was under the section where it came into reviewing, if there was an issue, you know,
Workplace
with an
safety.
employee.
See how it says, select board department head, shouldn't be.
I don't know what a select board head
chair,
is.
Select board,
So
liaison,
what chapter is this?
workplace safety,
What number?
7.
What number underneath that? The town is.
Yeah, so
Well, if you could send me that, I can review it.
okay, then
And there,
the other thing underneath that, with, in that safety or employee, whatever it is, almost implies that the select board head really is the one that makes all the decisions. So if there was a dispute with the employee and the town, that's only one person making the decision.
yeah, it should be the select
Should be a
board.
select board,
Select board.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so wanna make sure that language is clear about that.
The salary increase is where it said the select board evaluates the town administrator, road commissioner, which that should be road foreman, and
Yeah.
the zoning administrator. So that was the pay area I was talking about.
Yeah.
But that whole thing about evaluation should be a separate paragraph, because it's in the
Yeah.
thing under salary increases. To me, there should be a separate thing about evaluations.
That's right, then you put this flow chart in there, whatever, you know.
Yeah, the flow
Who's
chart,
responsible for
when,
what? Yep,
and a sample of the actual document
Yep.
to do it. That should all be attachments to
should be,
the thing.
you're right about that.
Now, should there be an arm off, rec commission?
I think there should be. There should be an arm off about, yeah, the rec commission. And underneath it should have,
They do the director, the
position.
director does the other super.
Can you send that to me?
I sure can.
But the rec commission isn't here, it should be
should be added.
added in a
Yeah.
report.
Right.
Arm under, yeah.
Yep,
The select board, it reports to the select board.
Now, just for clarification, I think I understand that the board chair serves as a road commissioner, which is fine. Do we have to make any mention of that in here, because the road?
The board chair doesn't have to be the road
Oh, I
commissioner.
thought
That's
that
not
was-
automatic, no,
Oh, I
that's,
thought that
That's
was
why
tabled.
the policy
Yeah.
says the road commissioner is, because the
reports.
road commissioner was an employee.
yeah,
Like Kevin would have been the road commissioner back years ago. Because Terry Hagee was the road commissioner,
Yeah.
Dr. Pelkey was the road commissioner. So, yeah, they don't have to be they don't have to be the chair.
Okay, that's my mistake. I
Our,
thought the
our
chair.
organizational meeting, that's one of the
But
line
that's-
items where we established who's gonna be the
But-
road commissioner.
But for quite a few years now, it's been the chair, has been the road.
Right, just happens by,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, okay, all right.
And then the other thing the board should consider, and I'm just gonna throw it out there, and this is after I'm done being road commissioner, there should be a stipend for that.
Oh, I agree.
There's extra
Yeah,
time
yeah,
involved,
yeah,
if they're gonna be involved in,
Because if we had to go outside and enlist the services of an outsider to be road commissioner, we'd have to pay a fee.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, road takeover policy. Change that whole first paragraph for a standard. An engineer gave me what they thought was the typical road section that got sent out separately by Brian.
That was good.
And, we added about taking the core drills for existing, or core samples for the existing roads, so,
so those standards that you emailed us exceed A76.
yes. A76 is 15 inches of dirt's not the right term, of gravel.
gravel.
There's no asphalt on top of it.
Why do we have them exceeding 876?
So we're calling for 18 inches of crushed stone
For new roads.
in our new one.
Yeah.
So we're gonna raise the cost of development then. The other thing is, you're saying just core samples on existing roads, but wonder if somebody came in, when they do their PRD or whatever you call them now,
Dear.
and said, you know, eventually I want this road taken over. Could they have the option of a engineer of our choice inspecting the road before the pavement goes on to make sure the base is fine or built to our standards instead of having to do core samples later down the road?
How you gonna know the thickness? That's the whole thing.
Well,
we
if you
just
got your
discussed.
engineer out there, our engineer, would, you know, our choice at their cost now, inspect the road before the first layer of pavement goes on, and right, and say, okay, it was built to our standards. And because these developments take a long time to end up finishing, you're 5 or 6 years down the road, you know, and then we're going back to core samples on everything.
But isn't the core sample a final determination of the composition of the road? That's the end result, isn't it?
It is, in your case, it hasn't been paid. I wouldn't have somebody do a core sample, I'd get a very small backhoe, go out and
Yeah.
dig 3 spots in the.
Yeah, that's
in
what
the
I'm
road.
saying, you know, I mean,
Well,
that's what,
that would be to determine that layer
yeah.
before paving, there's nothing wrong with that, we don't need to put that in writing, that's,
Well, you're not giving them the option of doing it. It doesn't say in our policy. All it says is core samples will be used for existing roads.
well, that road's not done yet.
Well, it will be. I mean, it's eventually gonna be a town
We
road.
could add, if the pavement is in lieu of core testing, if the pavement's not in, they could do excavations and
I
determine
mean,
the
it seems
depth.
to be more, I'm just, you know, I mean, housing's a big issue and costs are high and we're adding to it. I mean, if there's a simpler way of doing this and addressing our concerns, I don't see why we can't put it in there. I mean, too late for a road that's already done. We got no option but core samples. But on a new development, it could be inspected, and I looked at some other towns, and that's what they do.
New towns should be inspected before. And before they even start. they
But we
should
don't
make a-
have the policy that says that. So what, you know, when somebody goes before the DRB, with a development, they don't even realize that that's probably gonna have to be the case.
So, and when they go before the DRB and they talk about roads, they refer to this policy, to the town road takeover policy.
Yeah.
So in theory, they would build it to that.
Yeah, they would bill it to that, but I'm saying, that's fine if you wanna, I don't think we should make the standards work above what there's really other towns are doing, but if that's what everybody wants to do, that's fine, I'll live with that. But I think you ought to give the people an opportunity to have the road inspected to make sure it meets our standards without having to do core samples later on.
How would you ascertain that it's up to?
Because if there's 18 inches of crushed stone there before they pave it, it's gonna be real easy to see, ain't it?
You're talking
real
about-
easy.
You're talking about during construction.
Yes, before the pavement is put on there. Then we know the base, because the base is the most critical thing.
So having somebody inspect the road prior to the asphalt being put on,
Yeah,
for new roads only.
for new roads, yeah, we can't do it on existing roads because they're already there.
Well, we'll say roads where the asphalt hasn't been placed, that would be an option over core drilling. That's fine, I'll add a sentence there.
Yeah.
That's easy.
I'm just,
I just wanna go back to, and other towns aren't requiring paved roads.
They are required paved
Okay,
roads.
so
They're
you're saying,
requiring the A76 standards, which does require pavement.
no, it doesn't. I showed.
Okay, all right,
I've
I don't
showed-
care, put it in that way, I can live with it, but I just think people ought to have the opportunity to have those roads checked, because it's so long down the road before the developments get done.
What?
But if we know the base was done right up front, then we're set.
I'm just curious why it's 18 instead of 15. Was there any particular reason why we decided on 18?
I went to a professional engineer who does road design all the time.
Okay.
And the LVRT project, that's what they requested, and that was a different engineering firm. Can you get away with 15 in the side developments? Probably. If you want 15, let's put 15. We'll change that little,
I think we got a pretty good policy in place, and we made some amendments to it. Why don't we give it a chance to see how it works before we start making changes? I mean, Earl's got a good point, I mean, no question, but let's try this policy. It's there.
Yeah, I was just curious why we came upon 18 instead of 15, but yeah.
Cause we're building for longevity,
Yeah.
we're not building for just the standard of now, we're building for longevity.
That makes sense.
But it does raise the cost.
it does. Well, we don't have to require asphalt. That'd keep the cost down.
I wouldn't go that far, but,
Well.
Okay, so what are we talking about? Are we talking about amending our policy, or totally changing it?
It's said in one sentence, right after the core piece.
Okay, and then if it's during, we can
Prior,
substitute,
prior to
prior to,
asphalt
we can
being placed.
substitute engineering inspection
yes.
to replace the core sampling once completed, once it's paved.
Right,
Makes more sense.
something to that effect, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
And the engineer, it should be clear that the engineer would be of the town's approved, but it'd be, the cost would be borne by them. I've seen that in a couple other ones.
So are you saying we have a list of approved engineers?
Well,
that
we'd
can
have
do
to
core
approve,
samples?
it'd have to be a neutral third party, you know, like our own engineer, not their engineer. You see what I mean? You know, they already have an engineer, the developer, right? But we're not gonna have him inspect it, we're gonna have our own engineer inspect it.
If the asphalt hasn't been placed, then we can have the developer excavate a certain number of areas, and we can have any road commissioner, the road foreman go up and verify the depth of the material.
Okay, if you wanna do it, that's fine with me. The only thing is, the engineer might pick up other things, drainage issues that might be there, because it doesn't say anything about drainage either.
It sure does, it talks about stormwater.
I
That's
know,
drainage.
it's stormwater, but I mean,
That's
the road
drain- that's drain-
itself.
That's part of the storm, that's
Okay.
part of the design of
All
the
right,
road. Has
okay,
to-
if you say so,
You don't-
I'll accept it. I'm not gonna argue about it, but, you
Why-
want, do you, I mean,
Why don't you take the policy and you come up with a proposed language change?
well, I'm suggesting that
No,
we
why don't
put
you
that
take
in
it
there.
and you give us-
Okay, all right, then
give
I
us the
will.
changes.
I will.
Anything else on road takeover policy? Next meeting agenda item, anybody have anything special they wanna cover for next month, or next meeting?
I just sent you two guys an email, and I think I copied Kathy. We had a really productive meeting with the bank, and we talked about, we all talked about what goes on in the town clerk's office and treasurer's office, which is a really good job, Kathy, and I've said that before. I just sent you two guys a memo, and I think I made 3 or 4 recommendations from that meeting, and maybe that could come on the agenda to see if we wanna go with those recommendations.
Okay.
And I just sent you about 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Anybody
And
else?
they're minor, but a little fine tuning is good.
I'm good at the moment. If I have any changes, I'll email you.
Alright, any other necessary business? Correspondence?
Yeah, we gotta.
Yeah, we got the animal control.
Yeah, that's
report.
him and since we were here.
Yeah.
Oh,
He sent the animal
Yeah.
control report.
So, yeah, well, we got, a dead cat that came to life. Everybody got
where
one?
did that guy go see Dr. Poe? Is that what happened?
So anyways, there it is. We had ducks at large on Route 7.
We have to stop responding to farm animals.
So Brian, what's haven't been following, what is the village policy on chickens now? Do you know?
They're still there.
They have to keep them in your own yard.
And who's enforcing that?
That's a good question. I'm not sure who is. If it's
Oh,
the
is that
police,
officer?
it's an ordinance of the village, the police
maybe
There's
enforcing
some
it.
down here in the bottom of Ferry Street that walk right along with it.
And you're not supposed to have a rooster.
Could we get a copy of that just emailed to us, because everything in the village is part of the town, so we should make sure we are aware.
And there are a lot of active roosters around.
I'm not sure if it's, is it effective?
Don't get pigs.
Under animal control, 1026, unlicensed dog at large. Can we just talk with Jim
Well,
and give us,
that's the- I think the same one that's been a problem there. I'm not sure if it's licensed yet or not.
Yes,
It is licensed?
yes.
Yeah, okay.
but I mean,
But it's still running.
doesn't tell us what the,
Right.
Oh, wait a minute, 16 Gallop Court.
Six.
You have it?
Six.
Six.
on that 6 Gallop Court at the bottom,
Oh,
1026. So what did he do? What was the result? There's no point even putting that on there if we don't get a follow-up of unlicensed dog at large, could not find, spoke to the owner, small stuff, but,
Yeah.
okay. Correspondence, public comment, upcoming events.
Tuesday, November 20th, 2025, 5:30 PM will be an SDP meeting at the Holy Trinity Church. Tuesday, November 20th, 2025, at 6 PM will be a DRB meeting here at the Swanton Town offices. Thursday and Friday, November 27th and 28th, 2025, will be the Thanksgiving holiday. Office and operations will be closed.
Okay, Tuesday is not November 20th. Right?
Thursday, correct.
Third,
Sorry, I'm just reading off the paper.
And when's our next,
Thursday,
when's our next?
December
select board
2nd.
meeting? By
December 2nd.
December 2nd.
December 2nd, okay.
And then also tomorrow at 1 PM, the weather is supposed to cooperate and the flags in the park will be taken down by the town highway department and the Swanton Village, Public Works and Electric Department. Volunteers are still welcome to attend and help us get the things. Weather didn't cooperate very well, but it'll be dry tomorrow, we hope.
Yeah, Wednesday and Thursday.
Motion to adjourn.
Just Nick and I.
Second.
Motion been made, second adjourn, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.